is the Mike Calta Show. It's 102.5 The Bone. Good morning, everybody. It is Thursday, September 14th, 2023. We're coming to you live this morning. Gio is on his way. I texted him early this morning, and I said, Gio, get me a sandwich today from Starbucks. I'm starving. And he wrote back, we're back, baby. I mean, I woke up this morning. I have like stomach pains and my like growling. I'm so hungry. I don't know what happened. It was worse than when I was fasting.
Yeah. What'd you eat last night?
Nothing. I had Grill Smith, and I ordered soup for an appetizer, and I ate the soup. And my son got like some sort of egg rolls, and I ate one of those, and I didn't even eat my entree. My entree's still in the refrigerator. I got salmon. I was just starving. And today I just woke up like I wanted to eat everything.
I'm hungry too, Michael, but I'm gonna have a cherry pie, so I'm excited.
I am
trying to get somewhat healthier. Thank you.
I am starving too. I came in and I said to Mike, I go, I am starving because he said he was getting the sausage biscuit thing.
Please
I didn't want to stop.
For a bite.
I didn't want to stop at like McDonald's or something.
No,
I want some like breakfast, some eggs or something.
I don't know what it is, but for some reason, if I eat fast food at Starbucks before like 7 or 8 a.m., I get like nauseous. But anytime after 8, I can eat McGriddles, Taco Bell, any of that stuff. Yeah, I don't know what it is, but
no, I feel a lot better now.
Yeah, I'm jealous. Not gonna lie.
That is a low carb sausage cheese.
Oh,
Low
good.
carb.
That's
The diet one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is fasting was the
me
worst
have
thing that ever happened to me.
When I ordered it, I made sure they made it that way.
I went to New York. I didn't go to WoHop. I didn't eat pizza. I didn't have a hot dog. Well, not that kind of hot dog, but I did all
You
these.
didn't have a hot dog.
I didn't have any hot dog buns.
Yeah, there you go.
And
That's
still,
what counts.
I came back here and my whole world is upside down.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's not what counts. Didn't you see the findings of the study that said like every hot dog takes off 7 seconds of your life?
Yeah.
Listen, those are
I'll
extra
give up those
seconds.
28 seconds.
They're not counting the buns.
Yeah,
by
didn't
the
say
way.
anything about the bun.
Yeah, that's just the hot dog. The casing.
I don't know what you're saying. It's a lot of static coming
I'm
from your
hearing
end.
the same thing from you as I do hear from the people that are like, that's a pig's penis. I don't care. I don't care.
Oh yeah, no.
No.
Also, people out there, this is a little PSA because they do like chicken sausages and turkey sausages and stuff. They still put them in pork casing, which I find incredibly like
weird.
Awesome.
Yeah, delicious.
Well, weird. No, but I'm just saying, like, for me, someone who doesn't eat pork, I get chicken sausage, but then you put it in a pork casing that kind of goes around.
Mm-hmm.
Well, then I can't eat
you
it.
haven't seen that pig in a long time.
Yeah, I know.
I'm talking
I
about
know.
Blaine.
They can't put it in a turkey casing. It'd be too small.
No, but they do have other casing. They have like natural vegetable casing and stuff that they can put it in.
I'm also in a pork casing.
Oh man. Anyway, I needed that sandwich today. I'm weak. Listen, I was thinking about it this morning. The only diet that I've ever done that I really liked was the Medi weight loss diet. It just it was the most common sense. It was like you eat this many calories. You don't keep out one food group or anything like that. It just was a eat normal diet and get checked by a doctor. That was the one that made the most sense, I thought. Urshan worked really well, but also it turned you into a psychopath.
Yeah, and you were getting yelled at.
Yeah.
I don't like any of those diets where you feel bad about yourself if you make a mistake.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And then I don't need to go outside and put my feet in the grass or any of that nonsense.
I gotta tell you,
love that.
that is a
Yeah,
wonderful
and
thing
nothing
you should
to do with the diet. It was just part of your
That's
holistic.
So
That's
let me
not
clarify
true.
though. Spanish doesn't like a diet that when he cheats on it, they tell him you're not going to lose weight if you keep cheating.
Yeah,
on it.
I don't like that.
Yeah.
I don't like that. No, I need encouragement.
Positive motivation.
I need a diet where they go, it's okay. They rub my head and then feed me butter pecan ice cream. Is that the diet that you want?
I don't like that one either.
No.
Can I do that? I don't want to do that.
I don't like butter pecan.
You're like the woman in the 600-pound life.
Yeah.
She said the doctor was berating her
100%,
because
dude.
she wouldn't admit that she was cheating on the diet, and that's why she was not losing
And
weight.
that doctor is the best because he's got that worst accent. He's like, I don't know what to tell you. You're fat. You become fat. You're not going to do it.
I tell you, my brother Tim was a trainer a long time ago at Chicago Health and Fitness or whatever the place was called, and he would drop clients because they would not stick to a proper routine or diet, whatever. He goes, listen, I can't have you be a client of mine and you're gaining weight when you're on the thing that I'm setting up for you. He goes, they would be like, no, I'm following. He goes, no, you're not. You're not. Because
Bad
you would,
advertising.
you would be losing weight.
And it
you
makes
would
him
be-
look bad.
Yeah.
I get it. Totally. Well, anyway, I'm hungry today, and that's just life.
Yeah.
That's how it goes.
Guess what?
What?
I finally broke my fast.
Oh, what'd you do? What'd
Did you
have?
do your total time or what?
I did 68 and a half hours.
Oh, that's pretty good.
And what were you shooting for? 72?
Yeah,
Huh.
I did 72.
Yeah.
I did 3 days. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? I was 3 hours short. You know,
Gross.
but so I was because yesterday we had that party here. And literally, it is just a room full of pizza and wings, and I couldn't go in the room because I was gonna lick people's pizza.
I picked the pizza up, and I all of a sudden that was Dave Portnoy. I go, I don't like it. It's floppy.
Too much
Floppy.
floppy.
It smelled. It had a good smell.
One night, everybody knows the rules.
Yeah.
Bad
It
undercarriage.
was a 3.63. I mean, it was not good.
Oh.
It wasn't bad. It
Did
was
you
just like-
did you just take the cheese off, or what'd you do?
No, I ate the pizza and the hand that was attached to it and the plate that it was on.
Yeah.
But I gotta tell you know who's ruining things? JoJo. JoJo gets good food. She puts out candy.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
Forces cake on you.
That is just the best.
You on JoJo's diet?
Oh my God.
Joe and I were sitting next to each other, and this it was me, Joe, and Spanish, and we were sitting next to each other, but with a seat in between each other. And this girl who's handing out cake comes over, and there's 3 of us there, and she puts on 2 pieces of cake. She puts down one between Spanish and Joe, and one between me and Joe. And I looked at Joe, and he looked at me, and I go, "You eat it." And he goes, "No, Michael, you eat it." I go, "No, I don't want to eat it. You eat it." And it just sat there. We didn't touch it. But I thought, how awkward was that? There's 3 people standing, and you put
She's
2
trying to-
pieces. You're gonna start a fight.
Yeah, totally.
She put it next to one guy who looks like he loves cake and another guy who looks like he needs cake. And she just put it between us.
Maybe she was trying to respect your diet.
Well,
She didn't. She would have kept it away from
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
She put it close enough where I could see it and smell
The
it.
one guy who loves cake and the other guy who needs cake to get right because he needs a sugar fix.
Yeah.
He's shaking.
His machine went off to tell him his blood sugar was low. That was good though. I got to see. I like seeing some people that I don't get to see all the time. I text JoJo last night. I go, "What's going on with Aurelia? She didn't yell at me. I didn't see her. Was she there yesterday? What's going on?" And evidently she wasn't there yesterday. But I saw. I mean, like, there's people that I forget work there because I haven't seen them so long, and then there's people that still work there, and I go, "How do they still work here?"
Yeah, and there are people that work there that are new that I'm like, you can't be more than 16 years old.
That's when you start feeling old,
Yeah,
buddy.
it's really weird.
That's when you start feeling old. When it
You're
looks
the
like
creepy
kids
old
work
guy
there.
now.
100% did.
Yeah,
And they all look like, they talk about, I don't even know what they could be talking about because they're so young.
yeah.
And I'm so old.
Like, who's the creepy old guy with the gel mask burns on his face?
Yeah, with the chain and the orange sweater, rubbing his
Quasimodo.
hands together.
I pointed that
how
out in
old
front of the
is
whole
you?
crowd.
98 degrees and he's got a sweater on.
Jason
Cold
Meter,
in here, man.
Jason Meter looks at Spanish and he goes, "Look at Spanish's hair, everybody." I want to point at him. I go, "Well, don't forget his face. Look at his face."
I literally
A real
just
jerk.
the last thing I said before we left here is I was like, I don't know, man. I'm not sure if I want to go because my face still looks all weird. And Michael said it's not gonna be any big deal. First thing he says is, "Hey, check out his face."
everybody.
Find 200
Damn
people.
it.
Aw.
Let me see your face. Let me look.
It's not so bad.
No,
Yeah, you can't really tell.
It
now.
wasn't bad yesterday either.
No.
It's like it's now in my beard, which is really weird. It's like It's like
Beard is
all
weird.
Beard is
scattered.
weird.
Yeah, I don't like it. It's weird.
I did make a note of, so yesterday also Galvin was a 10-year that Jason Meter, our boss,
I saw that. Yeah.
has been free of cancer, which is great
Yes.
because cancer hits a lot of people that it hits a lot of people, and some people you're like, oh well, that's what happens, and then other people you're like, oh my god, like the nicest guy in the world, and it's awful, and he beat it, and we're real happy for him.
Stage 4, right?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
he was.
Yeah.
It was, and his dad had passed away from cancer, so
Yeah.
it was not a good situation.
And it's good to have a good story.
Yeah.
Where
Exactly.
somebody who, has been cancer free for 10 years.
And you don't want to know anybody that has to go through that, especially Jason's, our age. He was young. Same thing with Drew. Drew's young and having to go through that and go through your day-to-day life, especially in the public eye. It's very difficult. And Jason, they were celebrating yesterday that he was good, and he was up there talking. And I did you even notice his Spanish? Because we were sitting in the front. He's got the biggest ass feet. He's got orangutan
notice.
feet.
Yeah.
No, I didn't even notice.
Oh my God.
Dude, he's got aircraft carriers. How you doing?
Like
for
canoes.
Feet. They were like canoes.
Yeah.
He had these nice shoes on. I go, those are nice shoes. I go, Jesus, that's a lot. I didn't make custom shoes. What is he, Shaquille O'Neal? They were just giant feet.
Clown
What
shoes.
size?
And I asked him what size, and he didn't tell me. I go,
Oh.
Jesus, Shaq, what size feet do you have? And he goes, oh yeah, I got big feet. And he wouldn't say it.
You know what Carmen's thinking?
Yep.
Hey,
Yeah.
Big
That-
feet, big
Yeah.
shoes.
Yep.
I had a girl in high school say that to her daughter. A mother said that to her daughter about my shoes. I couldn't find my shoes, and she goes, "Oh, those boats are by the front door." And then she said to her daughter, "You know what they say about big feet?" And at the time, I didn't know. And then when I found out what they say about big feet, I was like, "Damn, Mom, way to go!"
How old were you?
15.
Oh yeah. She wanted the young buck.
Yeah.
You know,
There wasn't a lot of bucking going on. Yeah.
Speaking of shoes, my wife goes, "I got you something." I go, "Oh, really? A present? Very nice. All right." And she comes in with a shoe box. Do I need more shoes?
I don't think so.
I said to her, I go, I love it that you got me a present.
For
Yeah.
you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got me a present. I open it up. It's a pair of brown leather dress shoes. I go, I love you. And I go, this is so sweet of you to think of me and go out and buy me something for no reason, just
Right.
because you want to. When am I ever wearing brown dress shoes? And she goes, well, you need a good pair of dress shoes. I hate those dress shoes. I go, yeah, but when was the last time I even wore those? And brown? She goes, brown goes with everything, with the style and da-da-da-da-da. And I go, I don't know. I go, if you're going to do it, I go, at least give me some black ones.
I got some observations to make.
Okay.
One, I feel like she bought you those because it was like 10 for me. I got to get him something. It's like she bought a bunch of stuff for her.
Oh, she 100% did.
Right.
But she won a bunch of money at the blackjack, so
Okay.
I think she was out there,
Then I think, two, is that she's right. You need to branch out and not just wear black shoes. Have a nice pair of brown shoes. And if you don't like them, I'll take them.
And she's also trying to tell you she wants you to wear
Right,
them.
right.
She wants you to take her
no.
someplace where you
No,
have to
never-
wear them.
Never trust a man in brown shoes. That's what I
Wait,
always
what?
say.
Yeah, I've heard you say that before.
I've never heard that.
My wife bought me a pair of brown boots that looked like they were, they're only ankle boots, but they come to like almost a point, and they look like an Indian made them. You know what I mean?
They're like
they were
weird
made out of
felts.
pelts. Yeah. I go, what is this? And she goes, oh, these are nice. I bought these while I was wherever, and I saw them, and I went, okay. And because I don't know, I just have no fashion sense whatsoever. I know that comes as no surprise to any of you. And one night we were going out, and she goes, wear those brown boots with the jeans, and I was like, oh, okay, cool. I'm telling you right now, nobody has ever looked at me and said, I like your shoes, until that night. I went out, and people were like, oh, those are cool shoes. Those are cool shoes. And I went, I clearly know nothing about shoes. I felt like I looked like an Indian from Amsterdam. They were made out of pelts and pointy.
And Galvin, your wife is very fashionable.
Yes.
You know,
I'm not saying that they weren't nice shoes. I don't know. They're not.
you.
Yeah.
I
But
get
you
it.
like useful gifts, and you probably won't use those shoes for a while.
Galvin's saying it's hard to wear brown leather shoes with shorts and a black band t-shirt.
Yes. Yeah, it doesn't really match my Pantera t-shirt.
Yeah.
You should try it though.
Are you going to wear those to the Hate Breed concert?
I'm going to kick so many people.
Well, I'll take him, Galvin, if you don't want him. Just saying, I'm sure I could trade out something for you.
I think she's going to give me a black pair. Because that's the other thing. I don't have any brown stuff. I don't have any brown stuff.
You don't have to wear
But you
brown.
can wear brown and black. That's coming
No,
back.
don't do it. Don't do it.
You could.
Oh, really, Mr. Everywhere
Slater.
you go. Yeah, Slater, Bucks, and FSU. That's it. Like, no.
Yeah.
Don't listen to Gio.
No.
Listen, I have nothing to offer you either.
Yeah.
Oh, I've picked up a couple of tips over the years. That's all I know. Nothing. Yesterday, I actually wore jeans and a shirt with a collar. Maybe like that.
Yeah, what was that, weirdo? I felt it was weird. I didn't like it.
Taking a page out of my book. I like it.
Yeah. I had a couple of things I had to do, and I didn't want to be sitting there in a shirt with no sleeves to do it. You know what
You
I
didn't
mean?
look like a slovenly bum like Joe.
I didn't
Not
say
a
that,
slovenly
Joe. I didn't
bum.
say that.
Thank
Yeah.
you, Michael.
I had I can't show up. I had to take my son to the doctor. I don't want to go in there and be like, "What's up? I'm the dad with no sleeves. I'm cool." And, that kind of thing. Just
Mike said something. We were talking before we went on air, and he goes, I was at the station. I go, you were at the station yesterday? And he goes, yeah, there was a big meeting. And I go, oh, yeah. I think
the
I saw
all-staff
that."
meeting that we got.
But listen, first, couple things. One, you're sending out the emails too early. I can't be expected to keep it in my calendar. I go, it's ridiculous. Also, two, I don't know. I don't think anything listen, anything they say there apply to you?
Not
Exactly.
yesterday, yeah.
And I'm on Galvin's side. Listen, I was because
you
Spanish
guys are 100% wrong. Go ahead.
Spanish texted me and was like, "Hey, see you at the meeting today." I was like, "Oh man,
No.
okay, I'll see you." No, but then I was like, "No," but he texted me this, and then so I'm sitting here waiting, and remember I have to wait 2 hours because I'm done at 10. Meeting doesn't start till 12, And then I look online and I see Galvin running in the forest. And then before the meeting is about to start, I'm like,
running away from the meeting.
I'm like, if these son of a bitches, if Spanish texted me and told me they were all coming to the meeting just to make me stay around and none of them show up, I am going to go berserk.
What? It was a thought. It was a thought.
I know it was a thought, and you're a real jerk for doing that.
Here's my question. Now, I'm talking specifically to Spanish.
Okay.
Or Joe or Carmen. Did it apply to them? How do you think
100%.
it applies to me?
It applied to Spanish and Joe because Rob Babin, who's the head of this company, and Chris Egan, who's the head of radio, were both there making observations. And they saw Spanish and they saw Joe. And they saw them with me and they associate them with me and they will remember them. That is the most important thing. You're not, some of these meetings are really important about the planning for the future, and some of them are rah-rah meetings. And even the rah-rah meetings have a purpose. And when they call the meeting, you go. That's just how it goes.
So I've met Rob before. I could walk up to him and squeeze him really hard, and he'd go, "Who is that guy that just squeezed me?"
Because you don't go to the meetings.
I went to all of them.
I've
met him 5 times.
out of your way to
And then Chris Egan, I had a personal meeting with him for a half hour and emailed and never heard back from him.
Yeah. Well, you're running a company, so it's not like you're his only priority either. You know what I mean? I don't know. I just I don't care. I didn't tell anybody. You guys better go to the meeting. Do whatever you want to do. That's the smart thing to do. So I don't care. I mean, and there were, I remember not this meeting, but the last meeting that we had that I went to. There were some important takeaway things about hurricanes and what because we're heading into hurricane season. And also just touching base with some of those salespeople that I don't ever get to see. Not that I want to necessarily, but we have business together. So there's certain things that face to face you have to go, hey, stop sending me those spots if they're not going to have enough words in them to do a commercial and the other thing. So yeah, it's just basically sometimes a FaceTime thing, and I think that's important, but or not, whatever. Sometimes when you have Spanish's face, it's not very good.
Listen, I got to show everybody my scars on my face, so that was fun.
Well, I enjoyed the pizza pie, Michael.
It was okay.
Cheap
pizza.
leaps over
It
here.
was okay. Yeah.
What was your takeaway? I got free food.
The cake was, I got to tell you, that cake, whoever they got that cake from this time, it was fantastic.
I saw Babin talk to Egan. They were whispering each other's ear and pointing, and they were like, "Does that guy work here?" To Joe, they were like, "Do we pay him?" He's like that guy from old school, Blue.
Yeah, that's why Joe should stay away.
Yeah.
Joe doesn't want his
Fly
face
under
to
the
be
radar.
shown.
Dude, and
Exactly.
they started talking about digital, and you just see Joe sit back and cross his arms and go, yeah, digital. I know what that is.
All right.
I think you're more like a Milton from Office Space.
Yeah.
If they
wanna
start
get
talking about analog, then Joe.
Gentlemen, I have some input on this.
I will call you from my rotary phone.
I
Yeah.
said Spanish is my proxy.
Yeah.
I said to him,
They did not mention you,
yeah,
by
I
the way.
said to Spanish, if they mention me, let me know.
Yeah. And I texted you, Carmen, because I know you are the best at I call you're like our Mo, where you'll go take pictures at the very beginning with everybody and then disappear.
Yeah, I
into
saw
the
Carmen
night.
for 2 seconds.
Yeah,
that's it.
yeah,
Yeah.
she's
I
good
was-
at that.
Listen, I was there, but like I said, I told everyone to make sure everyone knew what the circumstances was. I was like 6 hours away from my 72-hour fast. I could not step in that room because I was going to lick a pizza. And I was there to be supportive.
Wish I would have known that. I would have put pizza on my body.
Dude, the best thing, Danielle, I'm talking to JoJo about the diet. I'm like, I'm 6 hours away. I'm so close. I'm really excited. I feel good, but I'm like, finally, I'm hungry. Like the first
Can
2 days, I was good. Third day, I'm getting hungry. Danielle walks up with her pizza. She had no idea, but she walks up with her pizza and she goes, "Ooh, yeah, pizza, dip it in blue cheese. Yum, yum, so good." It took a bite. It was like, "Ooh, yeah, you guys want pizza?" And everyone looks at her. They're like,
Danielle, enough of a reason to go to that meeting yesterday.
Ooh,
Right.
dude.
God, she's tight.
I don't
Yeah.
understand those dresses, man.
And just, she's got 2 kids. How does she still look so young and good looking?
Because she gets up at 4 o'clock in the morning and
Yeah.
works out before she goes to work.
It's
It works.
And
incredible.
doesn't do the butter pecan diet.
There's nothing wrong with the butter pecan diet.
Hey, can I
Okay?
tell you how it backfired yesterday? I was sitting there talking to Sam, and while I was talking to Sam, I was like, man, didn't I just say something negative about Sam on the air?
Yeah.
Not bad, but I was like trying to make a joke, Like, I think I was like, I'm over Sam or whatever. And I'm talking to her, and I like her, and we're having a good conversation, and she looks at me and she goes, I'm sorry I didn't invite you to my wedding.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And I said, Sam, I wouldn't have gone to your wedding.
It was your party. Who you invited to the party? You said Sam was definitely
Sam's out.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm sorry. And she said that she listens
No
to the show.
FaceTime for Sam.
She listens to the show while she's running. And I can't imagine that because we've mentioned her on the show. We don't talk about her a lot. Can you imagine you're just running and all of a sudden I'm like, yeah, I'm over Sam. She didn't invite me to her wedding. She's like, what? What just happened to me? I'm just jogging through the woods, trying to enjoy my life, and this moron's talking about how I didn't invite him to his wedding. I didn't even know his last name then, you know?
Now she can't come to the party.
Yeah, she's uninvited.
No, I told her.
We stand by it. Michael.
I go, you will never be allowed to come to my parties.
Now I got to turn my back on you.
Yep. So that's all right. It's cool. Some people are in the circle. Some people are out of the circle, no matter how pretty their eyes are. That's how it goes. Sam's eyes are like they took him out of jewels in Egypt and put him in her head.
It's unfair. And the last time we hung out with her, I think we were at the old ringside, and I was like right on the cusp of being like blackout drunk, and I just remember staring at her, and she looked at me, and I was like, I'm sorry, I just can't stop looking at your eyes.
What a creepy old guy.
100%. 100%. I'm pretty sure my mouth was open. It was bad. It was a bad look.
Did you let her husband know?
Yeah. It was rough.
It's so much more depressing for me because I don't look at a girl like that and go, God, I like to do stuff there. I look at her and I just go, what pretty eyes she has, and that's it. It ends there. I'm like so old now.
Spanish is not thinking that.
Yeah, at least your mouth wasn't open when you
I
were
was just telling her she has beautiful eyes.
Yeah.
And long
Is that a
legs.
crime?
Yeah,
Is it a crime?
what do you smell like?
Well, anyway.
I wanted to taste her hair. No, don't taste her hair. Spanish.
Okay, you want to know the creepiest thing that I do?
No.
The creepiest thing I do. My wife wears this perfume that smells. It's like in the middle of sexy and a dessert at the same time.
Did you spray it on Sam?
No, no. It smells like you want to eat it and bang it at the same time.
Oh,
It's so good.
Combo right there.
Carmen, you know what it's called?
I'm sorry, I'm handling something in here with my rabbit.
Excuse me. All right, carry on. Anyway, so when she puts it on, I could smell it in the whole house, and I want to go down there and be like, let's bake cookies and have sex while we're baking cookies. It's just delicious. But I like the way girls smell. Like I like shampoo. Sometimes she'll smell good, and I go, "What are you wearing?" And she's like, "Nothing. That's shampoo." And I go, "It smells great." When I'm on the plane and I'm sitting like in the second or third row, every hot girl that walks by, I go. I try to grab a little bit
That's
of
not
what-
weird. That's not weird.
Yeah, I
People
don't.
do that.
I don't want to do it. I don't lick them. I don't put my nose to their. I just in my own vicinity. I know there's going to be a waft coming in soon or whatever they're wearing, and I just go. I just breathe it in instead of ignoring it.
Sneaking a whiff. You know?
Yeah, sneak a whiff. I sneak a whiff.
I
Hannibal
don't,
Lecter over here.
Creepy.
I don't want to name names, but I know somebody that may do that, and then if they get caught, they will say, "Do you smell that fart?" Did
Oh
somebody-
no!
What?
I don't
Smell that
walk
fart?
up to girls and smell them.
No,
I just
yeah.
as they're walking by me, I wait for. Well, all right, not anymore.
Yeah.
Not since the police. No, I'm kidding. I don't. You know, I just was sitting in the seat in the aisle, and they were walking by. And I didn't even do that. I didn't even do the Woody Woodpecker. I smell food somewhere.
Yeah.
I just did the as I walk by to see if I can grab some residual.
What do you want? I got sniffles. I don't know.
Nothing's better than when you go to South Tampa on a Friday night to a restaurant and hot girls just walk by your table and you're like, just the
Dude,
smells.
the one time we went to meat market and we ditched Joe in Spanish.
Yeah.
Oh my
This son of a
gosh.
bitch.
Smells great.
It's
Smells
like
great.
1 minute you're smelling like a steak, and then the next
Yeah.
minute it's like a hot chick. It's fantastic.
Good stuff.
Then you ditch Spanish and Joe. Like,
Not cool.
what a night! What a
last
night!
last time we went to meat market, it was me and Amanda, Pete and Gina, Charlie Belcher and his wife, and I think that was it. Maybe there was another. I don't know, but anyway, they put us in a private room in the back, and which is kind of cool because it's quiet and you can hear each other talk and all that stuff. But also you can't
Yeah,
see
there's no
any.
scenery.
Yeah, you can't see any of the hot girls that are
Yeah.
there. And the whole point of going there is
Oh yeah.
the food's good and all, but the girls are smell those girls. If you can smell a girl over a steak, that's
Yeah.
a good smell.
Those
You should
girls,
really stop smelling girls.
Well,
That's
it's
weird.
natural part of life. I
Did
think.
Sam smell good?
I didn't get.
Yeah,
I
she
didn't get
did.
close enough to Sam.
I can tell you she did. Yeah, she did.
Oh.
She was nice. Yeah.
I had a pepperoni. I'll get it. It was pepperoni pizza between me and Sam, so that's all I smelled.
And Danielle smelled
Yeah.
like pepperoni and blue cheese.
Yeah.
It was still hot.
According to Carmen.
Yeah.
And don't
It smelled
worry,
delicious.
don't worry about that second piece of cake that lady put on the table. I took care of that.
You did?
Yeah.
I
took
didn't
care
eat
of
the
that.
first
Yeah,
one.
yeah.
Neither
I-
did Joe.
No.
Maybe I took care of both of them. They was
Can
nice.
you know who I'm so mad at? JoJo. We were over in the corner, and there was the cake was on the counter, and Jenna goes, "That cake was so good." And I go, "The best part is those flowers. Did you smell the flowers?" And she goes, yeah. I go, like, the pink one smells different than the other one. She goes, really? And I go, yeah. She put her head all the way down to the cake, and I was just about to smash it. And JoJo goes, no! And she sat up, and she goes, what? She goes, he's going to put your head in the cake. I go, why would you ruin it?
What is she, the fun police?
Yes. I was like, we were so close. Jenna was on the way.
You don't do that to girls. You don't do that to girls.
Why not?
And then you smell them.
No, because they wake up and actually put makeup on their face. They can't just go to the bathroom and wipe off.
I wasn't
cake.
I wasn't
Wipe off
gonna
everything.
Macho Man elbow her into the cake. I just was gonna give her a little toot. She had a little tip on her nose, like I do to my daughter.
You say that, but then
Then I would smash it.
cut to easy, fucker. It's just a game.
Chase hit me with a bat,
Or a fork goes in her eye.
Oh, no.
Listen,
No, stop doing that, people.
these are all things you need to risk in order to do it.
There's toothpicks holding the flower.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my god, it was great. I felt like,
And then he took a picture with her and did bunny ears behind her.
yeah, I got dad jokes and dad stunts.
Oh,
That's
God.
me. Anyway, it was a good
Yeah,
time.
whenever you see them do that with people with the cake and they smash their head into it and it either misses the cake and hits the wood counter and cuts their head open, or like Gio said, it has like a pole in it holding the thing together and it goes through their eye into their brain and they're like, oh, remember on their 18th birthday? Yeah, that was the last time they walked because now they have to have a wheelchair because they got a spike through their brain.
I love the parents that act so surprised that their kid is upset and crying that they just smash their
I just
cake.
wanted a little pink on her nose. That's all I was hoping for. I wasn't gonna smash
Or
it.
the happy birthday silly string burst in the flame.
So, Jenna, why do you wear an eye patch?
Well, I get up in the morning and put my back brace on. And I put the iPad on because this idiot at work thought it'd be funny to smash my face on the cake.
Yesterday, I was able to squeeze a ball for the first time in 3 years. I have motor skills.
Oh, thank you, JoJo. I take it back.
Yeah.
You saved me from a lifetime of losses.
She actually did the right thing.
Carmen, are you having any issues over there?
Kinda, yeah, a little bit, but
What's going on?
So every week I restart Wide Orbit at the two machines. I do one at a time, obviously. But now we are unable to open Wide Orbit on the main system.
Is it fixed?
No, but I have the backup system that we can use.
Well, what I was going to ask you was, if you wouldn't mind, if you have the time, if you can pick a classic open letter. Oh, you got one?
I put one in the folder in the news folder for you, Carmen.
Okay, cool.
Because Galvin's open letter yesterday recorded robotically, and we can't replay that one. That's going to be that's a lost episode.
Yep.
Never get again.
Sabotage.
Hope you enjoyed it, because you'll never hear it again.
Because
But
it sounds like this.
this is what signals the aliens that it's okay to come
Yes,
here.
yeah.
Galvin's open letter. We'll do the open letter rewind, but a classic open letter when we come back into Sporcle, which we will do next. It's the Mike Calta Show. This is 102.5 The Bone. Sound like got everything fixed, Carmen. You all good? What? We should just shut our mics off and let her just go.
There's pizza in the performance room.
Oh, and blue cheese on Danielle.
Oh my God, why isn't this machine working?
Oh, you blew it.
You blew it.
One at a time.
Okay, hold on.
All right.
You're listening to the Mike Calta Show on one.
.48 of the Mike Calta Show. It's 102.5 The Bone. This is all I listened to yesterday. I was driving around Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Just a
Not-
guy driving around listening to Michael Jackson,
Yeah.
smelling ladies' hair.
Hell yeah.
Not the be the world, make it a better place. I can't listen to that garbage.
No.
Or what happened to my childhood? Those are just the worst songs. But you get me. I'll go off the wall, Thriller, and Bad, and then done. Nothing past Bad.
You're not gonna throw in the Free Willy
I'll
song?
listen to Black or White. I don't know
Yeah,
what that
Black
is.
or White is
Yeah.
great.
Yeah, and not the, what's the Free Willy song? Which one?
Nah.
No, 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 no.
So
Nah,
good.
not gonna listen to it.
Basically, the whole Dangerous album sucks.
Yeah, I don't listen to any. It's off the wall, Thriller, and Bad, and that's it. and even bad is pushing it. You know,
Do you know how much I wanted Thriller for Christmas? That was like
The
that was
album?
all I want. Yeah, oh, yeah.
this is a family that had jets, dirt bikes, and all this stuff. And they
Oh,
wouldn't just
no.
buy you an album.
No,
and
they
friend?
bought it for me.
Yeah, but
I
wait
was
for Christmas.
yeah, but
$7.
that was like my thing. That was what I wanted.
Makes it special.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's weird. I loved that's my fault.
But he has no idea, is what I love.
Yeah.
Because Joe has no idea his microphone's
It's
not
the
on,
best.
and I just hear in the room.
Joe, I find your meanderings reassuring.
Thank you, Michael.
Yeah,
Of what? That he's alive?
maybe sometimes. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Confirmation
hear.
of life.
Yeah.
All right.
Lets me know that there's life in that corner. Thank you very much. Carmen, what are we giving away today?
Okay, so we have tickets for Yngwie Malmsteen.
Yeah, good job.
Okay. Woo! We got tickets for Lewis Black and the very first 2024 or 2023 Bone Tailgate.
no.
There you go.
Again.
The Bone Tailgate, of course, is happening on Monday, the 25th. That's when your Tampa Bay Buccaneers are taking on the Philadelphia Eagles. We'll be out there with the brisket shop and Bud Light. We'll be drinking, we'll be eating, we'll be having a great time, and then we'll be leaving there and racing home to watch the game from the comfort of my own bedroom.
Let's bake.
Let's bake.
All right.
We're baking, baby. I'm excited to watch football tonight. I'm very much into this football season. It'll be a depressing day in January when it's over. So
Yeah.
I'm going to enjoy the hell out of it while it lasts.
It's been a long 2 days off football. I was thinking that yesterday.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's play a little Sporcle. Here we go. I want to remind you that Sporcle is brought to you by our friends from Lifeguard Imaging. Remember, heart disease and cancer, silent killers. But you can get scanned and give yourself and your family the peace of mind you deserve. You can get in touch with them today at lifeguardimaging.com. Galvin,
Yes.
hi, Galvin. How you doing? Feeling good? Ready for today's game?
Oh, yeah, I'm ready.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for Sporcle. Carmen is the keeper of Sporcle. Pap, your reassuring judge and scorekeeper, is here. Carmen, what are we playing today?
Okay, today we're gonna play famous catchphrases. Can you name the famous show or character from their catchphrases? Now, first we're gonna do the shows.
Okay. All
And
right.
then I'll let you know when we go to the characters. So first, you are naming the show
Mm-hmm.
of these famous catchphrases.
Okay.
All right. Your first one. Book 'em, Dano.
Hawaii 5-0.
Galvin. The tribe has spoken.
Survivor.
Spanish. You're fired.
The Apprentice.
Trump.
Geo. Is that your final answer?
Who wants to be a millionaire?
The weakest link.
Who wants to
Oh,
be a millionaire?
Yeah, that's right.
Geo.
This is the first time ever Gio's in the lead.
Danger. Will Robinson.
Lost in Space.
Yes. Spanish. Here it is. Your moment of zen.
The Daily Show.
Yes. Galvin. Come on down.
Price is
Price
right.
right.
Mike. All right, and now we're moving on to characters. You're gonna name the characters. To infinity and beyond.
Buzz Lightyear.
Woody. Oh no.
What? Geo. I Caramba.
Bart Simpson.
Yes. You,
Me?
Mike.
My name's
Hello?
on the wall.
Yes. I can't see it.
It's okay.
What's up, Doc?
Bugs
Bugs
Bunny.
Bunny.
Mike. And Pap. We're halfway there.
Galvin and Spanish are both tied with 2, and Michael and Gio are tied for first by 1 with 3.
Okay. All right.
Long way to get there.
Yeah. Famous catchphrases. You guys are now naming the characters. Your next one. Marsha.
Jan
Brady.
Brady.
Galvin.
What?
Pap.
Galvin.
Galvin gets a point. Next.
I would have said Galvin.
Me too.
No one asked you. That's what she said.
Michael Scott.
Galvin. Live long and prosper. Spock is correct. Pap.
Galvin.
Oh, my. Come on.
Galvin gets the point.
Oh.
Your next one. Good night and good luck.
Oh, oh God.
Good night and good luck.
It's the newsman.
Edward R. Murrow.
Yes, damn it.
Yep. Your next one. No soup for you.
Soup Nazi.
Soup Nazi. Galvin.
I quit.
Good grief.
Charlie Brown.
Mike.
I'm back.
Okay. Here's Johnny.
Ed McMahon.
Mike.
You know what's so funny is I was totally thinking
Shining.
The Shining
Yeah.
video.
Yeah.
Your next one. Here I come to save the day.
Mighty Mouse.
Mike. That's all, folks.
Porky Pig.
Calvin.
Porky Pig is just the greatest name, the most redundant name in all of cartoons.
You stay classy, San Diego.
Ron Burgundy.
Geo. And Pap.
Oh.
Live
We're
from
on
the whale's vagina. Go ahead, Carmen. I'm sorry.
We're on the last 3.
Spanish has 2 points. Gio has 4. Michael with 6. And Galvin is your leader, but by 1, he has 7.
Oh, tight.
Tight.
Tight whales.
All right, famous catchphrases. You guys are still naming the characters. Last 3. Hey.
Dwayne. Wayne.
Rerun.
Fat Albert.
Albert.
Oh,
Spanish.
you can't say it like that. You went hey, not hey.
Yeah, I'm not giving you guys.
Fat
points.
Albert is Dwayne Wayne's hey, like you said it. Yeah.
I'm not giving you hints.
Oh my God.
Hey.
By the way, he's not Dwayne Wayne, is he? What is that guy's name?
Dwayne Reed. No, Dwayne, I don't know.
Yeah.
Dwayne
his last
Johnson.
name.
Oh, the tub.
All right, last 2. Here we go. I need the full name for this one, by the way. Yabba Dabba
Fred
Dibba.
Flintstone.
Fred Flintstone,
We
Mike.
tied now?
Tied it up, yeah.
So,
What's Gio have?
Gio has 4. Michael and
All right,
Galvin have
so
7.
all right. So
Anyone's game.
Nope. Geo in
You still have
Spanish,
2.
Tight.
You have 3.
you are out.
Ah,
This is
you
between-
lost. You suck.
This is between Calvin and Mike. Last one. You're naming the character. How you doing?
Joey
Joey.
Tribbiani.
I couldn't do the last name. Damn it.
Tribbiani.
Yeah, that's
Mike?
right.
Wow.
Yeah.
Damn it. I don't know why I got Arnold Horshack stuck in my head. Waiting for that.
Hey.
Hey.
How many is that in a row, Spanish?
That's 2.
Is
It's 2.
4. I'm pretty
It's
sure
2.
it's 4.
It's definitely 2.
2 in a row.
2 in a
Okay.
row.
That's a streak.
That is a streak. Officially a streak, yeah.
2 in a row. Going for 5, right?
Yes.
All right, I like it. Well, ladies and gentlemen, you've been clamoring for it. This has been the hottest new song in town. It's not quite Taylor Swift, but everybody's singing it everywhere I go. And this is no lie. I was in Publix and somebody yelled out to me, "Promises, promises." This song is taking off.
I
And
love it.
Carmen,
It's my favorite.
who was telling us yesterday they couldn't believe that it was unscripted, that you guys didn't write it down and read it all? Was it Richard?
Richard.
I think
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was like, "So you guys like write it down first?" And we're like, "No,
Yeah,
they
he-
just sing it live."
It was Galvin. Galvin literally just
Right.
like broke out with it.
And then pointed to people when everybody was saying.
Yeah.
So
We
I'll,
knew.
I'll sit back and soak it in, ladies and gentlemen, with the hit song "Promises, Promises" about my failed promises. Here's the losers.
Promises. I'm on a diet, but I still eat hot dogs. Promises.
I'm gonna go see Steve-O this weekend with my son.
Hey,
Promises.
Don't come to my party. I just want to sniff you.
promises.
That'll actually happen
that
if
one,
she
yeah.
shows up. Very nice.
Very good, very good.
Oh.
Now I regret that I didn't sniff Sam. I was so close to her.
God.
She just took a whiff.
Telling
in.
you should have.
Yeah.
Let her go to
Stop
the party.
sniffing
Yeah.
people.
Between
Snuff
you
away.
sniffing people and Spanish going, who's the young ones?
That was kind of creepy. Yeah.
Hey, listen, I was curious.
Who are all these young girls in here?
They look like they're 16.
Yeah.
He didn't say girls.
Yeah.
Let me make a place for you to sit. Wipes his face on.
Wow. Wow. All right. Well, Promises is soaring up the charts.
Yes.
Yeah, can I just go around the room real quick? Going Friday.
Oh
to
yeah.
See Steve-O.
Okay. Yeah.
You guys want, I'll take side bets. I'll take side bets.
Your son, by the way, said 10%.
Yeah. A strong 10.
Don't worry, I beat him last night. So don't you ever embarrass me in front of those people again. Anyway,
Go ahead.
what else do I have? I'm going fishing Sunday.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
That's happening. And probably not doing anything on Saturday.
Sniff some girls and eat some
some
hot
girls.
dogs.
Sneak a couple whiffs.
Sleep a couple of whiffs. My wife smells good. I'll smell her hair. on
You can
Saturday.
smell your wife.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
It's
fine.
just a smell. I don't listen to me. We're not swingers, but I don't mind if other guys smell my wife.
That's the first step, I think.
No.
First step is smelling your wife. Next thing you know, she's out in the garage doing,
Yep.
you know.
Oh.
Little creep whiffing.
Hey, by the way, I take that back because I know some of you creeps will be like, "Hey, you said it's okay."
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're going to walk up to your wife in like Publix. Mike said I could sniff you.
No, take it back.
He's going to take a big, deep, and then go, promises.
Gross. All right, what do we have coming up in news, Calvin?
Coming up in news today, bop it, fake fish, and pay that man his money.
Bop it, don't stop it. All right, good. Galvin has your news. We'll do that when we come back. We've got a lot of things happening on the show today. There's not enough attention being paid to the fact that there is a cyber attack going on in Las Vegas right now that has completely shut down the MGM properties. And instead of shutting down and trying to, I guess I read last night that Caesars got hit first and Caesars paid the ransom, and the MGM properties haven't paid the ransom, and they are trying so hard to work around it, and they keep insisting that their casinos are open and everything is operational, but there's a lot of video from Las Vegas showing you that everything is dark and nothing's happening. It's a real scary time. My friend Vinny, we call him Vinny FBI. He actually worked for the FBI. He deals in cybersecurity. I believe he has a private company now that does this, and he deals with a lot of ransomware situations, and he calls it. He'll tell you the steps in which it's going to happen. I guarantee you what he's going to say is MGM, instead of paying the money, is trying to rebuild their network right now so that they can just transfer everything to a different network and get away from having to pay the money and this, that, and everything, and only to find out after they're done that they're going to poison that network too. So.
Yeah, that's what happened with the city of Atlanta.
Yeah.
They literally said, no, we're not paying it. And it was whatever it was, $3 million or something. Then they had to put in like $260 million to redo everything.
Yeah.
And it took 3 years. Yeah, it was crazy.
So we're going to talk to Vinny about that. And some of you may be hearing about this for the first time. Some of you may be hearing, I heard something was going on. It's over. It's happening. It's happening now. And they're, for some reason, suppressing that information or just not wanting you to know how bad it really is. So we'll talk to Vinny in the 8 o'clock hour. Martine will be here at 9. We'll do football picks with him and Ian today. And we'll talk about the upcoming Bucks game. Of course, we have football tonight. What is tonight? I don't even remember. It's good, but I don't remember what it is.
Vikings, Eagles.
It's not good. I was wrong. But anyway, it'll still be fun to watch some football. So let's take a break. We'll come right back and get into news. It's the Mike Calta Show. This is 102.5 The Bone.
You're listening to the Mike Calta Show on.
Can I tell you? I remember when I lived in Miami, Jimmy Buffett came out with new music, and it was good, and it was along the lines with what he usually does, but it was kind of like a little updated, and it was pretty good. And I heard the Rolling Stones song the other day, and I was like, But then yesterday I heard it on the radio casually by not knowing that it was them and all that, and I was like, this is a pretty good song. I don't know if it's Rolling Stones quality yet, but were any of them, when Satisfaction came out, was everybody like, this is the greatest song ever? Or did it take a little while for it to sink in? Maybe
I think, we obviously make snap judgments. As soon as you hear something, you're like 10 seconds in, you're like, nope, don't like it. You know what I mean? But then you listen to it a few times, you're like, all right, I like this. The Rolling Stones song, I'm not a huge Rolling Stones fan, but that has the Rolling Stones sound to it. It doesn't sound like, if you would have told me that was off an album from 2003, I'd go, all right. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's not like they're trying to do something different to the times.
Like that's their guitar.
Yeah.
And their
the
drums.
Beat, yeah.
Don't get angry with me.
That's traditional Mick.
Yeah.
I never caused you no pain. I won't be angry with you.
Maybe not their best lyrics.
By the way, so Jimmy Buffett, I'm looking at his discography, and he has an album that came out in 2023.
Oh, really?
Equal Strain on All Parts, yeah. Had one in 2020. Actually, had two in 2020.
It was not
I don't know,
enough
is that just
song
singles?
Not enough songs about coconuts. You gotta go and write one more.
When you hear Mick Jagger, his voice doesn't seem to be affected by his age at all.
Because he never really had a good voice.
Yeah.
Like, he's not like a traditional singer. Like, he's just, he's a rock star. Rock stars don't have great
It
voices.
seems like all those guys, their voices, though, kind of change over the years. His is pretty much the same.
Let me just tell you something. There's nothing more amazing than Bob Dylan's change of voice.
Oh.
Bob Dylan went from to lay, and everybody's like, what happened? And he goes, I smoked a lot of cigarettes. And
Yeah.
you're like, how did that? I mean, right? Like,
Well, but also it went from to now.
well, now he's old, so
Yeah, but it's
now it's just like it's faded away.
If anybody is going to see Bob Dylan and saying that he still puts on a good show, you're just lying to yourself. I get it that he's a legend and he's a great songwriter and
he may
lyricist
put
and all
on a
that
good
stuff.
show. I mean,
But I
but
mean,
he
it
sound
doesn't
like
sound good.
Listen to his voice here.
Once upon a time, you dressed so fine, threw the bumps of dime in your prime.
Yeah.
Then you,
I mean, this was that everybody knows.
people call, say beware doll, you're bound to fall. You thought they were all kidding you.
Okay, now you get this. This blows my mind every time I hear it. That was Bob Dylan that you know and love.
Lay, lady, lay, lay across my big grass bed.
I mean, this,
Yeah, that's decades of probably chain smoking cigarettes.
yeah, but I mean,
Lay, lady,
like Galvin
lay,
said, then he morphed into your old aunt.
Yeah.
By the way, I always like to point out ages compared to Joe Biden. Mick Jagger, same age as Joe Biden.
Yeah.
Can you imagine Joe Biden was saying it?
Put out
Hey,
the new album.
Who sings this cover? It's already very obvious. If you
Sounds
know
like
music.
The Cure. But good.
lay, lady, lay, lay across my big brass bed. Lay, lady, lay.
This is Duran Duran.
Big grass bed.
But there is a ministry version of this too.
The vocals are going to be very off mic and effective. It's going to be.
Oh, I thought that was it. Get to it, Al.
Come on. Is it an instrumental? Told you.
Oh, brother.
Put like a couple more effects on
Yeah.
it and double it and do all that. By the way, Bob Dylan said all along the Watchtower, once Hendrix did it, he goes, I felt like I was doing a cover of
Yeah.
He goes, he just did it and it was his then after that.
Do you know I really learned about? I've heard that song and all that, but I never paid attention to it because I wasn't into that kind of music until U2 did it. And U2 did it, and I learned the words to it because it was in Rattle and Hum, and I'd seen it so many times because I worked in the movie theater.
Which, all along the Watchtower?
Yeah,
Or,
yeah, all
okay.
on the Watchtower. And then I was like, that's a good song. I know it's a cover. I know it's, whoever. But then when I heard Hendrix' version, he's right. I mean,
Do you
don't
know
hear
who
any other
does a
version.
great version of it? Really good. Anybody?
No.
Stevie Ray Vaughan.
No. Dave Matthews.
Oh, really?
Dave
really?
Matthews does a really cool version of it. I don't know if they have it on there or not, but he does a really, really good version of it.
So yesterday, next Monday, the 18th, Rob Dukes' band Generation Kill is going to be at Orpheum, and please don't sing Promises, Promises. I'm going to try to go. I'm going to go to it unless he goes on at midnight. Like I just can't see that. But yesterday, I follow him on social media, and they were live at the Sirius XM studios performing.
Yeah, with the Bobby and
Yeah,
Jay.
it sounded terrible because I was watching it from a phone, so I only got to hear a little bit of his vocals on a lot of the drums, you know. But I went back and listened to it on the Sirius XM, and it sounded great.
Oh, I saw him live at the Brass Mug last time they came through, and they sounded awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, they sounded really good. He does Generation Kill. They do some Exodus songs. They did a Metallica cover, which was really great. And their band is tight. And their drummer is giant muscle guy.
Really?
Yeah, he's muscle.
Whoa,
Yeah.
that's terrifying.
It is, and it's weird for a drummer to be that muscly because, you know, all that blood and your muscles and stuff, his arms must get so tired.
I loved Opie and Anthony. I think what they did in radio was the next groundbreaking version of radio after Howard. However, their fans are the biggest jerk-offs, and I'm one of them. But I'm just saying, like, they've tainted everything that Sirius does. Yesterday, Rob's band's performing. I'm watching the live of it, and there's not one good comment. Everybody is like, drummer's behind, drummer stinks, drummer. I'm like, oh my God, you guys, you morons. That are, I mean, like, you only say an insult like sitting home in your mom's basement. Most of them are literally in their mother's basement. They're sitting in Bayonne, New Jersey, in their mother's basement, who doesn't even own the home. She's been renting it from the same guy for 40 years. Their father's an alcoholic. Like, you know who they are. And they're just the most miserable people I've ever seen. Anyway, time to check in with Galvin. He has today's news.
And now, news with Galvin on the Mike Calta Show.
So I don't know how long it was, but all of everything I said for the last 15 minutes has been recorded and sent to my wife as a text message. I should just hit send and make her read it. Yeah.
Anything about smelling other ladies' hair?
Nope.
No,
it's after 7, Galvin. She's awake. We don't talk about that anymore.
Okay, all right.
What do we have in news today, Galvin?
Today's news is brought to you by Pelt Shoes. Say you're going to go see Generation Kill, or at least you say you're going to, and you need some boots to go out there and stomp around, do some East Coast moshing and stuff. Well, they have them right there at Pelt Shoes. They have all the different styles and brands you're looking for, whether you need some brown dress shoes for your husband or you need some athletic shoes. They have them in stock, ready to go for you. They got the Hey Dude, Skechers, Nike, New Balance, everything, all the different styles and brands, and you're going to save some money because whenever you stop into a Pelt's location, make sure you whisper my name, Galvin. You're going to get 10% off your first purchase. Pelt Shoes, get them at Pelt's.
Was there a cougar in there? Or Galvin?
On Tuesday, Mexico held its first congressional hearings on UFOs, and longtime UFO enthusiasts unveiled what he claims are actual fossilized remains of 2 dead aliens. He claimed that they were recently unearthed from a mine in Peru, that 30% of the DNA couldn't be identified, and that carbon dating showed the fossils were between 700 and 1,800 years old. He also claimed X-rays shows that one of them has eggs in its body when it died with embryos inside.
Do you think they're eggs? Do you know how do you know they are?
He's claiming this stuff. A few other experts also claim they're legit. It was all under oath, if that matters to anybody. He says he thinks it's clear that they're non-human specimens. We have some video on Bone TV of them, adding, "We're not alone." But the scientific community is very skeptical, partly because this isn't this guy's first attempt at this. He also unveiled a similar alien corpse in 2017, but that turned out to be a fossilized remains of a child.
Right, but he found it, thought it was what it was, then they looked through the DNA and they found it to be human baby DNA.
I got to tell you, from the close-up pictures of this, these look like they were made out of sand or some something like that.
I'm obviously feeling the same way you are, that I'm skeptical. I think most scientists would be skeptical too, but these are very easy ways to find that out. Chunk off a piece of the body and check the DNA, check the carbon dating, and find out exactly how old they are. I mean, those sort of things are easy to do, and then sit back and rejoice because if aliens are that small, we got nothing to worry about.
And but the thing is, it's also easy to fake. I know this is like the government and they have way better technology.
Well, it's Mexico.
But also, did you see there was a video of a guy who literally did the 23andMe and did it to his dog?
Yeah.
And it came back and he's European.
Yeah.
And he's
Ashkenazi.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So it's like, how do you really know if they're giving you the real?
Well, you don't. I don't know what 23andMe are doing. I don't know if that's somebody just pulling it and go, just tell me he's Italian, or if that what the deal is. But I do know with 23andMe, Carmen, is that I had not connected my relatives and it immediately found people and said,
Right.
this is your brother, this is your mother, this is whoever, anybody who had done the 23andMe before. So maybe the breakdown of the makeup, the genetic makeup as far as locations and stuff isn't 100% accurate, but the connection to other people certainly is.
Yeah.
If it would have came back with the dog and been like, this is your third uncle on your mother's side, then you got some issues.
And also, that video could have been fake. He could have done it to the dog and actually used his
Sure.
real spit. You know what I mean? Like, you don't know, but I'm just.
If he did, I hope 23andMe sues the hell out of him, because it definitely made me go, oh, I thought they were all legit,
Right.
and now I don't know.
Well,
you know?
it's more than just that guy. That's
I know. I
what's
saw a couple of
crazy.
different ones.
Yeah.
And of course, it made me want to do it too. I wanted to send him my dog spit and find out.
Best alien being alive when they thought it was dead reveal in a movie.
The Independence Day.
Yes,
is pretty good,
100%. That is so good, because whenever they go to cut it, and it goes,
yeah.
and you go, oh no!
Best alien movie you've never seen? The Hidden. I think that was the name of it. The Hidden is with Kyle MacLachlan, who was on Twin Peaks. It was about these aliens that were like slugs, and they would get in your body and take over the body, and you didn't know. But you didn't know whether they were aliens or whether they were regular people, because they assumed the identity of these people as well. And Kyle MacLachlan went in and took over. He went in Kyle MacLachlan's body and took over as a cop, as a good guy, trying to find the bad alien. And it was a pretty good movie.
Came out 87.
Yeah, 87. I remember when I was, but
I'm
it's
out.
I don't know that
Carmen's not
I don't know
watching.
that it holds
Not
up,
HD.
Carmen. But
Yeah, I was gonna say
Carmen,
not
the other day, my wife and I were home in the day, and I said, let's watch a movie. And she was like, I don't know, there's nothing out, whatever. And then she kind of faded off on her phone, so I put Midnight Run on, and she put a stop to it. She put her phone down. She goes, listen to me. She goes, I don't want to watch your old non-HD movie. And I went,
What?
I went, how do you know this is an old movie? She goes, because look at De Niro, how young he looks.
That's
Listen,
de-aging.
The only reason why I would watch something not in HD is for like my grandpa, because he loves like those old westerners and stuff like that.
Westerners.
Western
Listen,
movies.
I had Top Gun Maverick on the other day, and Joey walked in, and I go, please, just give me an hour of your time. I go, if you watch this and you don't like it in an hour, I'll never ask you again. He goes, come on, I'm going to the gym. I got things to do, blah, blah, blah. And I went, you know what? I can't even force you, because my dad made me watch a German movie called Das Boot.
Oh, yeah.
You know that? Of course, Joe. You probably know Das Boot.
They had that in
Yeah,
Beer
he
League.
does.
Oh, was it really?
Das Boot!
Das Boot is about a German submarine, and I don't know what it is, but my dad made me watch it when I was like 11, and then like in the middle of the movie, he fell asleep, and I'm watching this movie reading subtitles going, I don't care, I don't want to watch this, and then I'd wake him up and I go, Dad, I don't. He's like, no, watch. They're gonna, it's gonna, and we go back to sleep, and I'm stuck watching Das Boot. So I can't never force Joey to watch a movie with me.
Carmen, tell your grandfather I will watch westerns with him. I love a good western.
They're good.
I was watching a thing the other day, and I love whenever people tell you like what this was supposed to mean. Pale Rider with Clint Eastwood, where he's the preacher and he's protecting the town from the mining people coming in and stuff. So he rides into town on a white horse, on a pale horse, whatever. He's actually death.
Yeah, the pale horse.
Yeah, but once you realize that, and you go, oh, and he's all dressed in black, and
That's
he goes
pretty cool.
in, and he goes into the one part, and all these guys, like 12, 15 guys, go in there, and the guy's like, well, we don't have to worry about him anymore, and then you hear all this, and then they're like, that'll teach him, and then Clint Eastwood walks out, and you go, oh, that's so good, man.
Yeah, I love watching movies with my grandpa, especially like the black and white ones. There's like really good old movies.
Yeah,
Like,
can I tell you why? Because like you watch a Quentin Tarantino western, and it's gross because it's realistic. They got bad teeth, and they're spitting chewing tobaccos in their beard and all that. But old westerns all the cowboys are clean.
Yeah.
they're all clean except the bad guys. The bad guys are all dirty rapists.
Has your grandfather seen Young Guns?
Oh, that's
Young
good.
Guns
Young Guns 2,
2?
yeah.
Better?
Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid
yeah.
came
The
on
best.
the other day. I was just about to go to bed, and I go to my wife. I go, just watch the beginning. Just
so good.
You have to watch up to. So it starts out, and Sundance is at the poker table, and the guy accuses him of cheating. And Paul Newman comes in and tries to break the ice and this, that. And he goes, come on, Sundance. And you see the guy's face when he realizes he's the Sundance. I didn't know you were Sundance. So then they leave. They go, and then Paul Newman's gang wants one of the guys to take over. And he goes, oh, come on, you guys. You know, we're going to rob the bank and do this, whatever. And they're like, nope, we're having a fight. And he goes, knives or guns? Knives or guns? And he goes, well, I guess knives. He goes, but we got to go over the rules. And he goes, there's no rules in a knife fight. And he goes, well, if there's no rules in a knife fight, and kicks him right in the nuts and touches him. It's so good. I love it so much.
They're so handsome. Both
Oh,
of them.
they are.
As
So
long as you
good.
got handsome cowboys, you're fine.
Yeah.
Best modern day cowboy movie.
Modern day cowboy movie.
410 to Yuma.
310
Well,
to Yuma.
that's a remake, though. 310 to Yuma is a remake.
Does Young Guns count?
Yeah.
Young
Yes.
Gun's good.
1 or 2.
I like 2 better.
2 is more action, but 1, Billy the Kid is so good in 1.
Yeah, I mean they're both really good.
When
City
Billy the
Slickers.
Kid's up in the upstairs, and he looks and he's surrounded by the people, and he's like, "Hey, is that old Cleet Williams with you?" And he goes, "Yeah." And he shoots him. He goes, "He ain't with you anymore."
I love that.
He's great in that. man.
Or when he puts dimes in it.
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
best buck 80 I ever spent. I love Unforgiven.
Oh yeah, with Clint Eastwood.
Yeah.
That's another good
Hey,
one.
Gene
Hateful Eight.
Hackman, Morgan Freeman.
I can watch Tombstone every night.
Tombstone's
good.
fantastic.
Tombstone every night, and it's just, I mean, you're watching it for Val Kilmer. You wish that you know what ruins Tombstone to me is that girl, the one that he falls in love with, Dana Delaney.
Why?
Is that who it is?
Yeah.
She's just not
Yeah.
a very good.
That's a weird.
It is weird.
And then you have gay Jason
Jason
Priestley.
being gay, and then all the other guys are gay too, because they're like, "Come over here, lady boy, sit next to me," and you're like, "So you guys all like guys?" I don't know
Can
what
I
you are.
choose Back to the Future Part 3?
That is negative. Nobody with pink pants belongs in the West.
Anybody play Powerball?
Oh no.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just
Drawing
Gio.
was yesterday.
I did.
Gio, you didn't win.
No.
Powerball rolled over
Oh, my
again.
God.
What?
So Saturday.
That never happens.
No, we said we were going to win. We didn't win, but we said we were going to. Saturday's drawing will be worth $596 million.
It's pretty nice.
That's pretty good.
So good luck to everybody.
By the way, back to the alien thing. I don't know if you saw it. Did you see the stuff about the implants that they had? They had working
Those aliens?
mechanical implants. Yeah, that was
No.
one of the reasons why they said that they're actually legit.
Like I believe that there's way more than this. I believe we found other ones before, and we just don't know. The most incredible thing that Spanish ever showed me out of all the weird conspiracy stuff and all that, he was showing me, what was it? It was electrons and protons and neutrons interacting with each other.
The first photo ever taken live.
First photo, and I had read this also online, and it's a science article. It's not a conspiracy thing. It was that they were able to take a picture of the protons and neutrons, electrons reacting to each other, and they make a perfect yin yang symbol. And now you start to go, oh, okay, so the yin yang isn't a made up thing. It's somebody has seen this before, even though that's the first photo ever taken. I mean, I don't know. I can't decide what to stomach anymore. I don't know what's real and what's not.
Well, the team that is doing all this research with CERN and the quantum physics, I mean, they're basically proving that all the stuff that they've ever said about your pineal gland is true. They proved the guy won a Nobel Prize 2 years ago. He proved that reality that we
what do you know
experience.
about my pineal gland?
Well, you got to decalcify it. You basically the thought of that whole like The Secret, where you can create your own reality.
Right.
Turns out it's true. It just takes a lot of practice, and the CIA has research on it, and the Navy has research on it.
You know that guy John Edward, the psychic medium. I'm easily influenced and fooled by a lot of things, but I've seen him do it, and it is amazing. And then we saw that guy that worked for him, that he did it. But John Edwards used to always say, look, I'm just doing something that everybody can do. He goes, I could teach you how to do it. He never claimed to have special powers. He just figured out how to use them, you know? And he's like, I don't talk to ghosts. I don't see. He goes, I get visions in my head that make me relate that to whatever you're talking about. And I believe that it's signals from somewhere else. And he's very logical about it. And the other thing with him is that guy is a multi-millionaire who could charge. He's so good, he could charge desperate people $100,000 a pop to do what he does and do it for 2 years and retire. And he still does these small venues and these places and all that. Like, I don't know, man. It's just a weird thing to me. I want to so badly be like Fraud, but he's so good at it.
There is a woman who's the leading researcher on mediums in the world. She's I think out of the University of Arizona. But she has all these mediums that they say the same thing. It's basically anybody can do it. You just have to learn how to do it. It's something that we all can tap into. And now they have actual science from CERN that proves that they're right.
And a lot of it is like through meditation.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen that Tyler Henry? Do you know who he is? He's a younger guy, blonde hair. I assume that he's gay, but I don't know. He looks like he could be one of the Culkins, maybe.
Okay.
But he does a bunch of different stuff, and he had TV shows. But I was watching him with Howie Mandel, and he was talking. He has the paper and does the little scribbling stuff, whatever. And he says, your father's coming through, and he's saying something about eyes or eyesight. Did he lose his eyesight? And Howie Mandel goes, I didn't tell you, and I wasn't going to tell you. He goes, I'm wearing my father's glasses.
Oh, really?
He goes, I'm wearing my father's glasses right now, and there was a whole story about it and stuff. Like, I mean, the stuff that they pick out is
on
crazy.
this show. So if you know you're coming on the Mike Calta show, you easily put a Google search Mike Calta. You can go back in. You can find out that me and my grandmother had a good relationship, that my mom passed away this year. You can find out so many things. We had a guy on one time, and he pulled out that my sister-in-law died, several years ago, and he tried to use that, and I ended up calling him an a-hole and hanging up on him, and then give out his home phone number. But then we had a guy on that worked for John Edwards. I can't remember his name. Do you remember?
Don't, but I
Don't worry
know
about
that
it.
guy.
But he came to do a reading. And did a reading on Galvin's wife, who
Yeah.
was not in the studio.
Yeah, over the phone.
Was not attached to him socially on the internet or anything like that, and was able to find out about a friend of hers who had killed himself or had died. Killed himself,
it
died.
was her uncle, who was a police officer, who passed away. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't remember what the exact story was, but it wasn't an easy thing to pick out,
No.
And that's where you have to stop and go, well, he could have found out anything he wanted about us on the show.
Yeah.
But not your wife's uncle.
That Tyler Henry, I don't think they, allegedly on the show, I don't think they tell him who he's going to see.
Oh.
So he can't be like, Howie Mandel, let me find out all the stuff about Howie Mandel, whatever.
The Amazing Randy and Penn and Teller have both done what John Edwards done, where they'll look at a guy and they'll go, Spanish, I'm seeing like an old, like a maternal, like a grandmother, and you could be like, my aunt, yeah, maybe that, and they do that well too, and I'm sure there's people who do it, but then there's some people that you feel like they just have weird powers.
Yeah.
And John Edwards was great. He's like, I don't care if you believe me. Don't believe me.
Yeah.
What do I tell you? I don't care.
The quantum stuff that's coming out now, I mean, just basically proves that the spirituality stuff has been right the whole time, which makes you wonder.
Well, it's less spirituality and it's more scientific now.
Yeah.
Now it can be proven, and now you can. It's not crazy space alien. Not alien, but it's not crazy spirituality God guy in the clouds. It's like a thing that we just don't understand.
Yeah.
So it's interesting.
WWE is coming to Tampa Bay in January of 2024. They announced on Wednesday that Tampa Bay will be the host of the 37th Royal Rumble on Saturday, January 27th at Tropicana Field.
Oh, that's a different story.
On Monday, January 29th, Monday Night Raw will take place at Amalie Arena. This will be the first time Royal Rumble event will be held in Tampa Bay area since 1995. 2 years ago, Tampa Bay hosted WrestleMania 37 at Raymond James Stadium.
I'm in.
Yeah.
Are you?
Royal Rumble at Tropicana Field, that'd be awesome.
Listen, Joe, I couldn't tell you 10 wrestlers. You know what I did watch last night? There's a documentary on Netflix called The Wrestlers. I don't know how old it is or not, but it's about Ohio Valley Wrestling and how that is, since the WWE came out with NXT, Ohio Valley, which used to be their feeder league that had Cena, Batista, all these great people, is going under every week because they can't afford to stay. Yeah, it's really good, though, because Al Snow runs it. So they show Al Snow and him teaching the wrestlers and how they're trying to keep the business alive. It's pretty interesting.
With that Tough Enough show with Al Snow, whenever that first came on, that was a great show.
Yeah. Al Snow, when I was Cowhead, was on the show, and he did a liner for me, and he goes, you're listening to Cowhead, which sounds a lot like a thing I used to do when I was a kid. And I go, well, that's weird. And then years later, I go, hey, I used to be called Cowhead, and then you did a liner for me. If you had to do one today, would you be able to do the same one you did before? And he goes, let me guess. Something about a hobby I had when I was a kid. I go, exactly.
Well, you know what Al was doing?
Yep. He's very funny, and he's good on this show because you could see the frustration of a guy who's dedicated his life to wrestling and just had nothing at the end.
Royal Rumble, there's always like surprise wrestlers that enter the Rumble. I'm thinking because there's so many wrestlers in the Tampa Bay area, maybe we'll get some good surprises.
The Royal Rumble itself is fun. Yes, the actual the match where they all get in the ring and the numbers and all that stuff.
It's exciting to see who's coming out.
If you go, I'll go.
I think it'll be cool in Tropicana Field.
I just want the chair.
By the way, speaking of wrestlers, and we were talking about aliens earlier, alien movies and stuff, they live.
They live with
Roddy
Piper. Yeah.
Oh, so good.
That is good. That freaked me out the first time I saw that movie.
Piper was on It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. He played the Maniac. He was a wrestler, and they were doing a wrestling thing. He was so good on there.
No, he's great. All those guys are actors, so they're all really good.
He died out of like nowhere. Just, like a lot of wrestlers do, but man.
How is Flair still alive?
Yeah.
No, I'm not wishing him I'm just saying he was
in
so
the
much.
hospital, in the coma, all the
heart
stuff,
problems, and the abuse that he put on his body all the years, and he shows no sign of slowing down.
Now he's bellied up to the bar every week.
He's like, whatever, I'm here now. Let's just drink it out.
It's great.
Packy's One Chip Challenge will no longer be available in stores.
Good.
The maker of the uber spicy tortilla chip decided to voluntarily recall the product after a mother of a Massachusetts teen claims that her son died after eating the chip. The $10 chip was the last thing that the kid, who was 14 years old, ate before his sudden death on September 1st.
And so many other people have gone to the hospital and had intestinal problems. I mean, that's just the dumbest thing.
I'm surprised it stayed around that long.
I'm surprised my stupid son didn't do it.
No. A California Costco employee is getting praised for returning an envelope full of cash that he found while he was working. Here is John Sotelo talking about finding an envelope with almost $4,000 in it and returning it. Take a listen.
It was crazy because when my manager wanted me outside and the member was right there, she was shaking my hand for like a good 20 seconds. I'm like, dang. So, she told me like, oh, I'm so glad, you found this and that's for my kids to go to school. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm happy to help.
Now break me off a piece.
I was going to say, did anybody hear anything about a reward or not?
How much was it?
Almost $4,000.
What do you give him? Think about it. She's talking about money that she needs to feed her kids.
Yeah, but you still $100.
$100. $100. $100 is easily what, and I don't think you should. I don't think you deserve more, and I don't think you should expect more.
No, but normally, or I think Costco steps in and say, this is our employee.
Nice.
$500 reward.
Free hot dogs.
Exactly. You know what I mean? That way you don't take money from her, and they win. They look good. He looks good. She gets her money back. Boom, everyone.
I like that, Carmen. I think that makes the most sense.
Costco steps in.
If I was an employee, I probably would give the money back because I realize there's cameras everywhere, and eventually they're going to figure out it was me.
That's what Joe did when he found the $200.
That's what Gio did when he stole your credit card.
Exactly.
If I'm not an employee and I find it, I probably also give it back because I assume it's somebody who needs the money.
Really?
Yeah, because I think it's a customer who dropped it, whether they're a business that was going there to load up or whether they were a couple that was going to buy food for the winter,
Yeah, I think it depends on where you are financially in your life. And if you're working at Costco, $4,000 probably is
sometimes it's a gift from God.
Right. One of the greatest things, I remember reading an article years ago, I think it was at Sam's Club, a guy bought cameras, like security cameras, got them home, opened them up, and he saw something sticking out of the side and pulled it, and it was a $100 bill. Opened it up. The cameras, it was like $25,000 or something like that. And they were like, well, he paid for it, so he owns it. It's his.
Well, I wouldn't bring that back.
No,
but I would wait for the cartel to come.
No, but I don't know who put the money in there and how it was working.
And also, don't say anything about that one. That one you keep to yourself.
Envelope of money in the parking lot, I think, is drug money. And they will find me.
I'm with you about the drug money, but I would just probably pocket it and never tell anybody.
Because they're not looking for you. They're not going to go out of their way for that much money. If it was like 20, 30 grand, yes. But like only 4,000, drug people, they don't want to time for that.
Cost of doing business.
When you said the parking lot, the scariest thing I've ever seen on a TV show was when Hank Schrader was in the car and the twins came to kill him.
Oh yeah,
and they were just following him and walking towards him. So, dude, that was.
I just watched that on YouTube a couple days ago.
Oh really?
Yeah, it's weird that you say that.
Those two twins with their fancy shirts and those guns, they were something else.
You know what's funny is I just watched a clip of those two joking around and laughing and talking, and I'm like, I don't want to see this. I want them to just be scary and not talk at all.
Remember that scene? They shoot him, and then he goes to shoot him again. He goes, no, too easy. Goes back and gets the axe.
Yeah.
And then he drags, you hear the axe dragging through the parking lot, and then that's when he tries to hit him with the axe.
Yeah.
And
remember the tortoise with the head on it?
Oh, yeah. So good.
That was Danny Trio's head, wasn't it?
Yeah. Does anybody know what the trend slow dumping is?
Yes.
No. Wait a second. You say slow dumping?
Slow dumping.
That's what Spanish does it every day.
No.
Is it reverse cowgirl slow dumping?
No.
It's when you're on a morning show and you disappear for 30 minutes.
There's a trend called slow dumping when one partner distances themselves physically and emotionally slowly until the other person is forced to deal with it.
Slow dumping me for 20 years.
Yeah. Give me the old slow dump.
Slow dump it again, JD?
Today is, oh boy, you guys are not going to like this. Joe?
Yeah.
Get ready. Are you sitting down?
I am. Oh, no.
Today is National Sober Day. Quitters.
Yeah, get out of here.
I'm sober. I'm sober today.
Joe, let's do a shot.
Okay.
I will say,
celebrate.
Being sober for 6 months was a very eye-opening experience.
Joe said, we got to do a shot to celebrate Sober Day.
But like, if it was eye-opening Spanish, but now you're drinking again, right?
Yeah.
Drinking again.
Yeah.
Spanish.
Spanito.
Yes.
Should we do Sober October?
What is your question, Carmen?
Well, no, I was just wondering, like, was it good eye-opening, or did you, like, what?
No, you literally was able to open his eyes.
Yeah,
But
I mean,
what did you take out
it
of
had
it?
goods and bads. Good takeaway is that if I want to sober up, I can sober up. I can go cold turkey. Another takeaway is it's not as bad as everybody says it is. There's not really a big difference between not drinking and drinking, besides maybe some mood swings. And
You just prefer to drink.
yeah, I mean, I just enjoy drinking.
Spoken like a true alcoholic.
Yeah.
I just like the taste.
Yeah.
I could stop anytime I want.
I mean, I did. I stopped
But he
cold
did.
turkey. Yeah.
No, you couldn't keep going.
I've
didn't
never
wanna
had
keep
a
going.
problem with it, but I just don't drink
Yeah.
now. Like, I haven't, I'm trying to think the last time I had a drink may have been the cruise.
Yeah. Oh, I will say the best thing, Carmen, in all seriousness, I don't drink till I'm drunk anymore. That is the big.
You can just have like a couple.
Yeah, now I can just have a beer or whatever, and I don't feel like I need to do shots all
I
night.
found myself getting a little glass of whiskey not too long ago.
whiskey's
in the
good.
middle, just a tiny little
Yeah.
on the rocks.
A
One
little
of us.
whisper, Michael.
Yeah.
What's that?
A little whisper.
A
That's
little
all you
whisper.
need.
Yeah, that's what it was. A little whisper.
It's telling you a story.
Let's drink.
Listen
today.
to it. Listen to it.
The National Toy Hall of Fame just announced the
Ugh,
finalists
come out.
for its, I know you hate this, for its 2023 class, including Battleship,
Okay.
Bop It,
Yeah.
Turn It, Twist It, Bop It, Ken,
The Ken doll.
Ken doll, yeah, and
movie.
Teenage Mutant Ninja
Yes.
Turtles.
We gotta hop on the
Barbie.
bandwagon.
yeah, of
Ken.
course. Only 3 will be inducted. They'll be revealed in November, so I'll be sure to let you guys know.
I know what Bop It is, but I don't know how important it is to society. Ken, of course, is. Battleship is. And what was the other one?
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, and then Ninja Turtles are just tons and tons
Bop
of
It gets
accessories.
snubbed.
And
I don't
Bop
think
It
so.
was fun.
Bop It was huge
Yeah.
for my
I
generation.
remember it. I just think it's
Yeah.
early.
Twist It.
Yeah,
Turn
and
it.
then there
Pull
was
it. Jerk it.
whatever.
What? No, that's
Skip
not
it
one.
was the other
All
one.
right.
Dump
all
it.
right.
Yeah.
Well, they can
Slow
flick
dump it.
it.
Yeah.
Throat it.
Oh,
Yeah.
all right.
All right. Dana White is no longer the president of the UFC.
What?
Yeah.
Following the official merger with WWE earlier this week, which both promotions are now operating under the TKO Group Holdings Incorporated banner.
Now, who is that? Who owns that? Like, who is the
think
majority
that's
owner of
It's
that?
the Saudis.
Because it's not Vince McMahon is no longer the owner of the WWE, and Dana White's no longer the president of the UFC.
Well, White now is CEO.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he's the CEO of UFC. So he's not the president anymore. He's CEO. But, yeah, I believe it's Saudis that
Yeah, the company is called Endeavor.
Endeavor.
Right, but so okay, that's interesting.
And they own 51%.
Oh.
So just a
They
little.
got the voting rights.
And then what? Who owns the rest? The Fratelli brothers, whatever
No,
they
it
are, the
says
Ferlitos.
WWE shareholders own
Fertitta.
49%.
Yeah.
Oh, I'd like a nice Fertitta right now.
Frittata.
Pearl Jam guitarist Mike McCready is working on a rock opera. Have you heard about this?
What? That sounds awesome.
No.
It's going to be a rock opera that honors the late Chris Cornell.
Ooh.
He said, quote, I look
For
at
those
him.
reasons, I'm out.
I look at him as one of the greatest singers and songwriters of all time, aside from him, of course, being a friend. So,
Yeah, I don't have any interest in that. I will tell you, if I were to ask you what is the greatest rock opera album of all time, you would say what?
Tommy.
Who,
The
Tommy?
You would say that.
Yeah.
I tell you, I disagree. Not I disagree. Another one that I like that I would be more interested in seeing become something is Sabotage. Sabotage wrote that Wake of Magellan one, and it's I believe it has the potential to be like a Hamilton on Broadway if they did it the right way.
They know how to, a lot of those guys are with TSO, right?
Yeah, they know how to do it on a show,
Right.
But it's about sailors from the discoverers, explorers from the 1800s and further beyond there, and it's fantastic. The great explorers are on there, and it's so operatic and it's so done right. I just felt like if somebody put some money into that and paid attention, that you'd have probably one of the better Broadway plays.
Magellan. Lewis and Clark. No?
I used to listen to this band called Symphony X, and they used to do rock opera albums, but of all the old like Iliad and Odyssey stories, and old all those Greek stories. It was really good. It was really good.
Oh, look, I wouldn't see that, but I'm sure that there's an audience for it.
That's great.
We've talked about this before, how we love this show, and it's coming back. The Surreal Life is coming back.
Oh, I saw it yesterday. Yeah, I saw one of the people that were on it.
Some of the different people that are going to be on it. Macy Gray.
I'm so excited.
That's good, 'cause she's an idiot.
Yeah, put her in a room with,
Oh my God.
with Chet Hanks.
Oh, White Boy Summer.
White Boy Summer.
White
And crazy ass from Real Housewives of Atlanta, Kim Zolciak.
Oh, man.
Yeah, she's going to be on there. The one who said she had cancer and was wearing wigs and then didn't have cancer.
Yeah, she's a nut, but women are obsessed with her for some reason. Even my wife, who doesn't watch those shows and anything, she's for some reason is obsessed with Kim Zolciak.
Well, she was married to one of the
player.
NFL guys. I think he was with the Falcons for a while. I don't know who else. But anyways, I believe they just got divorced.
There was a time where she was sexy. There was a time.
Yeah.
She had that southern white girl sexy going.
She was a little thick.
Yeah. Surreal Life,
Crazy.
for you kids who don't know, that's where they get a bunch of washed up celebrities and make them live in a house together. And there have been, it used to be an MTV show, and they have had some great seasons. I mean, Jose Canseco. It's where X-Pac became famous.
Yeah.
X-Pac wrestled all these years. Nobody cared about him until he showed up on Surreal Life wanting to fight China.
Get out here.
I gotta tell you, it's pretty amazing, and I'm happy that they brought it back. Macy Gray and I had like 6 months where we just keep running into each other. We didn't know each other, but one time she stole my cab. And I was like, "You're not taking my cab." And somebody's like, "That's Macy Gray." And I go, I don't care if that was the guy who invented Macy's. They're not getting my cab. And because we were leaving a boxing match, and there was a million people trying to get cabs. I finally got one, and Macy's Gray's like, "This one's mine." I'm like, "No, it's not." And then like a month later, I went to Saturday Night Live, and she was the performer, and her mother was sitting next to me, and her mother is bigger Gray. It looks just and sounds just like her, except older and bigger. I hate everything about it, except that one song.
You know where she's super annoying but does a good job of being super annoying is in Training Day.
Oh,
remember when they go and
yeah.
they serve the fake warrant? It's a Chinese menu, whatever.
Oh,
and she's like, "That ain't no warrant.
Yeah.
Get them. Oh, yeah. Ugh. She's so annoying in there. Speaking of other stuff that's coming back, Dancing with the Stars. They just announced season 32, the cast of Dancing with the Stars.
Let's hear who these stars are.
I got to be honest with you. Looking over this, they did a pretty good job of people that you know. So they have Tyson Beckford.
Okay, yeah, we know who he is. By the way, best thing about Tyson Beckford on this show.
Kate. What's her name?
Quigley.
Yeah, Quigley.
Throwing up on him.
Yeah. They say Marvel star Zoshi Gomez.
Who is that?
I think she was.
We're all Marvel nerds. None of us know.
She was. She's an Asian girl. She was in. I don't know which one, but it was with the other guy.
Wong.
The
10 Rings.
Yeah.
Allison Hannigan from How I Met Your Mother and from
wow.
American Pie. One time at band camp.
One time I put a flute in my.
Yeah, exactly. Now you start to lose me a little bit. Social media, and maybe this person's very popular, but I'm
more
just not
popular
aware.
than Allison Hannigan.
Social media and reality TV star Harry Jowsey.
Nope.
Anybody?
I'm familiar with Harry Styles.
Yeah, Harry Jowsey.
Not Harry Jowsey.
I got a Harry Jowsey. I had to go to the doctor for it. Bachelorette Charity Lawson.
Nope.
She was one of the Bachelorettes. Vanderpump Rules. Ariana Madix, who was in part of the Scandal. Tom Sandoval cheated on her. Tom Sandoval going to be at Ruth Eckerd Hall or somewhere?
I don't know, man. I saw. What does he do? Does he sing?
Yeah, he's got the world's worst band where he sings out of key and I think lip syncs and stuff. So Jason Mraz.
Wow, that's weird.
Yeah, Jason Mraz is going to be on there.
Jason Mraz has talent and he's still relative.
Adrian Peterson.
The football player?
Yeah. This is another one where, I don't know. Singer and social media star Lily Pons.
I know that name, but I don't know anything about who that is. But I know that I definitely know the name.
All right, Lily Pons. Then you have Oscar-winning actress Mara Sorvino.
Wow.
What did she win an Oscar for?
I don't know.
All I remember her being in was that movie where like a giant bug in the subway was attacking people.
That Mimic, and that's a great movie.
Or bug in the subway sounds better, but Mira Sorvino won an Oscar.
Best Supporting Actress in 1996.
In what?
I'm trying.
Mighty Aphrodite.
Yeah.
Is that Woody Allen?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, she's useless. But that's fine. She's a name.
You know her. Jamie Lynn Spears.
Oh, from The Sopranos.
No, Jamie Lynn Spears, Britney Spears.
Sister.
What was it? Zoe 101 or whatever it was?
Yeah.
Then this one is real estate mogul and TV star from Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, Kyle's ex-husband now, Mauricio Umansky. Then you have, this is great, comedian and actor, Matt Walsh. Who is Mike from Veep. He was in
he's the best.
The Hangover, all that different stuff. Yeah. He's
great.
He'll be out first, I guarantee.
Yeah, but oh man, he'd probably gonna be funny as all hell.
And then from the Brady Bunch, Greg Brady, Barry Williams.
Really? Who cares about that anymore? I mean, that's not even my generation doesn't care about Barry Williams anymore.
The only time I watched Dancing with the Stars is when Sap was on.
Yeah.
I gotta tell you, Sap was dedicated to that as much as he was to football.
No, I did watch when Jericho was on too.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. No, Sap was Sap was really wanting to do that. He was really wanting to win.
He could dance.
So, I mean, that's pretty good because most of the time Dancing with the Stars were like, who is that? Whatever. So I would say out of all of them, I think there was only two. But Lily Pons, by the way, very beautiful, from Guyana. She is. He almost jumped out of his chair.
Somebody's behind me. What's going on?
27 years old. Very, very attractive.
I know.
We
got to go out there to Guyana.
And then what was it? Harry Palms? What was his name?
Lily Palms.
Oh, Lily Palms and Harry Jowsey. Let me see who the hell Harry Jowsey
I don't have Lily Love.
Back in the day, the ABC would just go to the well. They'd go to all the companies they own. They're like, all right, so here's somebody who's an ESPN announcer. Here's somebody from Disney. Here's somebody from wherever. And they would just use their own people. But now it's good to see this. Do you want to know one of the biggest things is that who ruined it for themselves is Fandango. Remember when Fandango was the big flamenco dancer and they did all this thing? My agent, Tony, got him pretty much on Dancing with the Stars, and then that stupid idiot went and tried to use his own people to do it. He just forgot about Tony, and they called Tony and they go like, I thought you were repping him. Some other guy called now and said I guess it was his lawyer or whatever. And they were like, yeah, no, we don't want to deal with this guy.
Oh,
all right. Good luck.
Later.
That wrestling thing must be working out for you.
By the way, Harry Jowsey is from a Netflix show called Too Hot to Handle. And
Too cold to hold.
He's
the call Ghostbusters in control.
He is a hunk, is basically what he is.
He's a hunk.
Yeah,
I like a good hunk.
Yeah.
He's a hunk.
That show's all right. Too hot to handle.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All right. Well, there you go. There's Dancing with the Stars. Nobody really cares, but at least they got.
I love that I'm so interested in who's dancing, and like Gio said, the only time I've ever watched is when Sap was on.
I feel like that was
care less.
10 years ago.
Yeah, and I feel like Jericho. I don't even think I watched it then because I just was pretty sure he was able to dance anyway.
Yeah.
So I only want to see people make fools of themselves.
Who thinks Aaron Rodgers is going to play football again?
Aaron Rodgers.
Apparently, you may be the only one. This season or at all, do we think he's going to be able to play? So out for the season.
This season, zero chance.
Will he make a comeback? 41? How old is he?
He's 39. He's going to be 40 in December.
Okay, so 40.
So he'll be 40 next season.
And doesn't need to come back. He has enough money.
Well, I think he thinks he's coming back. In an Instagram post, he said, quote, "The night is the darkest before the dawn, and I shall rise."
Get it, ayahuasca.
Yeah,
that's not true.
So we'll see what happens.
I'm a Zach Wilson guy now.
Oh, yeah?
Ever since I found out that Zach Wilson dates one of my friends from high school's daughters, I'm like, oh, I like Zach Wilson.
He's so bad.
And he's got a hot mom.
He's got a hot mom.
I love that Peyton Manning didn't even know he was on the team.
Yeah, that's brutal.
And they go, at one point, in the Manning cast, they ask about Eli and Peyton go back and forth. Hey, what would you do here, Peyton? He goes, I'd run the ball, man. He goes, he's like, no more 3rd and 8, don't throw it. He's like, let's just run it. Hand it off to Breece Hall.
I have some new music for you guys.
Good. Yes, Carmen. What do you got?
Carmen
should I
has
lower
to-
my headphones before we all go deaf?
Yes.
All right, go.
Okay, thank you.
I need dough. Cash. This hour's bonus keyword is card. card. Head over to the free 1025 The Bone app and enter the keyword within 15 minutes past the top of the hour and go get your $1,000. It's the Bone Bonus, sponsored by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
Am I the only one that heard him saying card? Card. Card? Is it card?
Card.
He's like, card.
Card.
Card. Am I the only one that heard that?
Yes.
Play it again.
It is card.
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 He's pronouncing.
Card. It's card.
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 Oh, you guys are giving it way too much.
Yeah, I don't think we're supposed to be doing this.
That guy's a recard.
You're null and voiding this. He listens.
Who?
Brian.
Yeah, well, he needs to learn.
Oh, how dare you.
Card. I think he did a fantastic job.
Card. Card.
I have some new music for you guys.
Okay, good. I love new music.
This is somebody who is part of a band, and then they're doing this, and it is this person's take on REM's Shiny Happy People. Okay? We're going to start it a little bit into the song so you can hear the vocals and doing it and stuff. Tell me who you think this is. By the way, this person is releasing an EP, all of REM covers. So this is Shiny Happy People, done by somebody who was in a different band. The band was
not REM. They weren't in
not
REM.
Not in REM, but in a different band that was very big band. You definitely know the band.
Well, can I just tell you that I know Eddie Vedder loves to do REM covers. So, well, yeah, when he did his solo tour, he opened up with an REM song. So, all right, I'll listen to it.
Tell me, maybe it's Eddie Vedder. Tell me if you think it is. Let me know. Here we go. New music on the Mike Calta Show.
Meet me in the crowd.
Not Eddie Vedder.
No.
People, throw your love around. Love me, take it into town. Happy, put it in the ground where the flowers
Any guesses?
grow.
Let me hear the chorus.
Gold and silver shine. Shiny, happy people.
I have no idea.
Is that the singer from Weezer?
No.
That's a good guess.
Carmen, if you can turn it down just a little bit, I will give you this hint. So, what?
I was thinking it sounded like Art Garfunkel.
Okay.
How
No.
dare you?
Or like,
But doesn't it have kind of a Beatles sound to it?
Yeah.
What has kind of a Beatles sound to it that is not
Oasis.
the Beatles? No.
Oh.
Think further back. They had a TV show.
The Monkees?
He's the last one alive.
Mickey Dolenz?
That's Mickey Dolenz.
Say it loud again, Carmen.
Now you hear it.
I don't hate it.
No.
Wow, good for him.
Yeah. So,
And he does all REM covers?
yeah, he's doing an EP that's all REM covers, and that's Shiny Happy People.
And he
sounds
wasn't a
pretty
part
good.
of. He wasn't a part of REM.
No, he was in the Monkees. The Monkees were popular late
Yeah.
late
He just
60s,
loves
early
REM.
70s.
Yeah, dude.
80s, you know.
It's a very hippie. Monkeys were very, Dylan's very hippie, so, you know.
I
By the
also
way, I
thought
just heard from the mate of the voice guy that he's still sleeping and not listening.
Oh, thank God.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You never know. All right, and then finally news. Think back, maybe
Tired.
when you were in college or younger, or maybe even last week. What is the weirdest or dumbest way you ever earned some extra cash?
I mean, I've done a lot of bad things.
So someone asked people on Reddit, and I have like the 10 highlights of different stuff of things people have done. Number 10, girl says, quote, a guy on the street asked to see my feet. Got some money for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why
It's a random guy on the street.
Let me ask you a question. What is the harm in that unless you have to do it in person? Like if my daughter came to me and she's like, this
Whoa.
weirdo on the internet. No, I'm not now. I'm saying like she's older. She's like, this weirdo on the internet sent me $50, sent him a picture of my feet. I would be like, do it. You got to do. I don't. I don't. You never have to deal with those people and see them and all that stuff.
I got one. I got a BH tattoo. Finally got hired after that.
I mean, please stop saying it that way.
Why?
We said you get hired if you did it. That's not true.
I mean,
someone claimed that when Samsung's exploding batteries got recalled, they bought 120 of them from people on Craigslist, sold them back to Samsung, and made about $50,000.
That's genius. That's genius.
awesome.
That's a good move.
When I lived in Tallahassee, a lot of people would line up at like the plasma clinics to donate plasma.
Yeah.
There'd be like a line outside the door at like 9 o'clock in the morning.
I've never donated sperm or anything like that, like or blood for money. Never.
10-year-old kids had some neighbor paid them to come over and read books to their parrot because the parrot was depressed.
Jesus.
This is great. Someone got hit by a car when they were 12, took $20 from the driver because the driver said, "Here's $20. Don't tell anyone I hit you." That's so great. A guy stole his dad's Playboy magazines in middle school and then sold them to other kids for $10 each.
I bought a centerfold off my buddy.
I knew a kid that used to sell little dirty pictures that he cut out of the magazine.
This guy says he made about $1,000 when he was in middle school.
I think I paid like $4 for it to get the centerfold.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
Played a free mobile app game for a year to level up and then sold the account for $350.
A lot of kids do that.
Yeah.
You guys want to buy my Pokemon account? Let's hear some offers.
A local wannabe mayor paid someone to vote for him when they were 18. They didn't care who the mayor was, whatever, so they took the money and said, "Yeah, I'll vote for you. I don't care."
That's funny.
This person says, "I once got paid $100 to spit a shot of whiskey into a guy's mouth." Assuming that it was a woman that did it. Not sure. Someone let a guy from Craigslist shave their head for a film for $600. Not clear whether it was a man or a woman, but $600, shave your head.
I think I could say this now that it's been so long. Some guy paid me $500 to beat up another guy one time.
Yeah?
Well, I was a bouncer at a club, and it was just easier for me to beat that guy up because I could be like, I just had to throw him out,
Mm-hmm.
So he was like, that guy is a problem for me, blah, blah, blah. I'll give you $500. And I was like, yep, drag him in, beat him up outside, took him the money. I needed that money.
And then this one, I would imagine a lot of people probably do this, selling coworkers clean urine so they could pass a drug test.
Yeah.
You know what? I don't want to say any names, but I used to work with a guy who his father was a pharmacist.
Yeah.
And he used to sell other people pills.
Oh,
really? Like he'd get the pills from the father, and then he'd sell them. I don't know if the father knew, but then he'd sell them to other people. And,
or if he'd just go visit his dad at work and be like, have his jacket over his arm and be like, some pills.
I remember a kid that would sell beers in high school too.
Oh yeah,
just single beers.
Single beers, yeah.
Dad's like, I keep buying a 6-pack, but I didn't drink all 6.
I didn't really have any schemes or anything. I just mowed people's lawns.
I shoveled.
Did actual work. Yeah, I shoveled. I did that.
Did you ever make cinnamon toothpicks and sell them?
No, what is
Make cinnamon
Yeah,
toothpicks?
you take cinnamon, put like hot sauce or whatever in a bag, put it in overnight, and then you sell them the next day at school for 25 cents.
And what do people do? They just chew them?
Yeah. That's it.
You're a little entrepreneur.
Yeah.
I think my brother Tom did
Middle
some
school.
scam where metal hangers, like $1 each, and then he would just send the people nails. Yeah, oh, weird.
Yeah, at one point I used to work with a guy who was paid to do video and didn't do video.
Oh yeah, that's a good scam.
That was an impressive scam.
That was a good scam.
That would never work these days.
No, this is way back in the day.
Wild.
Years ago.
That is it for news.
Joe, I think you're great.
Thank you, Michael.
Thank you.
You do a shot for Sober Day?
I do. Actually, yes, I would love to
All right, a
celebrate.
little Tootsky, Joe.
Somebody
Do it.
get him a shot.
Line it up.
Well,
Let it whisper to you, Joe.
it'll be
Little
a
whisper.
What do you want? I'll get you one.
Oh,
Somebody else seems to be moving.
Really? Come on.
We have some of that Calta Family Foundation
Can we
whiskey.
can we can
definitely.
we just think about this first before we could do this because I am the one stuck
It's
with
one
him all
shot.
day.
Yeah.
Relax.
You do a shot too, it wouldn't
Take
matter.
it easy.
It starts with one.
It's
Listen.
one.
Pap
Yeah.
needs his medicine.
Yeah.
Why would you rob the guy of the one thing that he loves?
Oh,
exactly.
because-
Let him be happy.
Why can't I just?
What? Yeah, no, it's not open. You can open it.
Let the man enjoy the latter years of his life.
I mean, let me go sweetly into yonder mist.
My whatever works, it doesn't matter. My buddy Dave, his family makes whiskey, and he sent me those sample bottles because people can actually, like celebrities or whatever, can actually go do their own whiskey. And all
it's
that
good
stuff.
whiskey.
Yeah, that's the thing. It doesn't just have a cool
Yeah.
label. It's actually good stuff. So
Michael, we need to make our own whiskey.
I know. I'm working on it.
All right.
Here's the problem: is that I was saying this yesterday. Some things I have a great ego with. and some things I have no ego with. And I don't believe that anybody wants to drink a whiskey because it has my name on it. You know what I'm saying?
I disagree with you 100%.
Well, I know now that there is a group that collects whiskey bottles and all that stuff. So maybe, I don't know. If I do it, I'll do it for charity. And if we could find a way, like I was talking to Wells. Wells has his charity, and his charity tournament's coming up. And I have my charity, and I thought, since we've been friends for so long, what if we did a bourbon together or something, and we called it Boom Cow or something like that? That would be kind of cool.
I have a question.
Yes.
Does Joe know that he's on a show?
No. Why?
What? Because he just did the shot.
Oh, you didn't even give it. You didn't even build it up.
Yeah, nothing.
Oh, get him another one. Get him another one.
See, God damn it! I knew this is what happened. I told you.
What do you want from me?
I told you. See, it starts like this,
No,
and next thing you know, you're gonna be crying in the car ride
That's
on the
not-
way
He
home.
never cries. He never
is
cries.
a crier.
I am not.
That
You
was
are.
the pre-shot.
No, see,
That was a pre-shot.
You gotta clear the. You gotta open the
That was
That's not how it works.
you gotta open the gullet. Yeah, you can't just go
So-
half-ass.
yeah.
it's National Sober Day. You got to celebrate.
Michael, we hang out with a group that's actually called the Bourbon Boys, and they drink. They do.
I know the
whiskeys.
Bourbon Boys,
Yeah,
yeah.
and we've done whiskey
Thank you,
tasting with
Galvin.
them. I would love to bring a bottle of your whiskey to one of the tastings sometime. if
So
you ever-
how about this? So don't do it yet, Joe.
I'm not going to.
Bab's Secret Lounge over here, the one that's the speakeasy. We got to know the code to get in the wall. They do like once a month on Sundays. They do a whiskey night, and they invited me twice, and both times I was out of town. Let's go next time
I
I
would
do
love
it.
to.
Yeah, because then we could just come back here and sleep here, so we
that
don't have to
would
worry
be
about it.
awesome.
Yeah,
Sleep
all
over.
right, all right. We should go. That place is great, man. I'm the only guy who goes to a place one time, loves it, never goes back. It's ridiculous.
That place looks so good.
Joe?
Yes, Mike.
Maybe a toast?
All right, a toast. I would like to say.
I'd love some toast right now.
Oh, that would be nice.
Let's order some.
You need the mic, Joe. You need the mic.
Here's to National Sobriety Sober Day. Good luck, everybody. Be safe. Make sure you tip your bartenders and waitresses. Thank you.
Thank you. Salute.
You got to work on that.
Oh, man, that was a big shot. You don't even make the Chinese eyes when you drink it.
No, it's bad.
Thank you, Michael.
I drink it like,
He actually moved away from the microphone to say, no, I don't.
Well, I was trying to get in front of the camera.
Oh, geez.
oh, yeah.
That camera's not on.
Yeah.
Since I brought it up, I want to remind everybody, David Wells' charity, the Perfect 33 Foundation, has their annual golf classic coming up on October 6th and 7th. It is happening at Innisbrook, and there is a dinner and an auction and entertainment. And then the next day, of course, is golf. I will be your host. There are great celebrities that come. There's even better things to bid on. I can assure you, I know this firsthand. And I know, Gio, this is up your alley. If you like Miles Teller, a Top Gun poster signed by Miles Teller, that'll be there.
Oh, nice.
The cars and all this other stuff. What's that? Rooster.
I want to bid on that. So bad.
Speaking of David Wells, last time with Three Brothers Pizza, they did the stuff. Did you see Three Brothers, what they have?
No.
Their challenge?
No.
Their big, giant, what is that called? The, not the pizza, but
Calzone?
a
Yeah.
calzone
Holy
thing.
thing.
And they had one of those eater guys that does the challenges, big, giant guy come in there and he's ripping it apart.
Really?
And then, it's a giant calzone. I think they're doing a challenge. It was called something like M24.
Why wouldn't they call it the Calta Zone?
Oh,
Eat the Calta Zone.
come on.
You win a medal.
And then you can measure it by Mike Keltas.
Yeah.
This is 3 Mike Keltas.
Yeah. Oh, you don't want to eat something that's through my Calta Zone.
I'd eat it.
Well, I'm so hungry right now. I could easily eat 3 Mike Keltas zones.
If you want to golf or be a part of this event, it's a really fun event, and there's a lot of great celebrities just walking around mingling with people. I know Jim McMahon's coming, the great Jim McMahon.
Oh, nice.
coming,
Yeah. The Punky QB.
And Larry the Cable Guy is there, and a whole bunch of different people. But you can go to perfect33foundation.org. That's perfect33foundation.org. And you can get all the information there on the golf tournaments coming up. It'll be here before you know it.
I want to go. I want to golf, and I want to be behind Larry the Cable Guy. So whenever he's taking long putting, I'm going to go, come on, Larry, get our done.
Get our done. You want to talk about a guy who is such a nice dude for as rich as he is and the success that he's had and all that stuff.
Yeah.
He is such a nice guy, man.
Is he really?
He's
That's
a
good to
sweetheart.
hear.
He's a sweetheart. Always been nice to me,
That's
and
cool, man.
yeah, he's a really good dude, and always steps up for the charity stuff. And at one point, while we're doing the auction, he will auction off Mater calling your kids.
Wow.
So if you want to get Mater from Cars to call your child, that is an
pretty
opportunity.
cool.
Yeah. Like I kind of wish Joey was still little so I can get him to do it, you know. I should still do it anyway.
Oh,
Julie,
yeah.
there's a guy on the phone that wants to talk to you. Hey, girl. Hey,
He just hangs up on him.
Yeah. I don't know what the guy was saying. He was talking gibberish. All right, we got to take a break. When we come back, we're going to be joined by my friend Vinny, who you know what, he's so undercover, deep. I don't know if I could say his whole name. I'm just kidding. He is actually the head of digital forensics and incident response for a company he owns called Blue Voyant, and they specialize in these situations where there are cyber attacks. And this could happen to you in the capacity of your city, your actual city. I don't mean the city you live in. Your actual city could be shut down. Your workplace could shut down. Or in this case, the MGM casinos and resorts in Las Vegas are currently being shut down by these ransomware guys. And this is what Vinny does. He used to work for the FBI. He's arrested crypto criminals. He is in the middle of all of these big things. And I don't know what the deal is, but you're not hearing nearly as much about this as you should be. And they are trying to make it like it's not that big of a deal. But yet the people in Vegas who are constantly doing the updates about casinos and buffets and all that have now switched it to, holy cow, this is what's happening with the MGM, and they're showing video of the inside of the casinos being dark. So Vinny's going to come on the air with us and tell us a little bit what he knows about it and what you should do if there's ever a cyber attack that is in your world right away. We'll take a break, and Vinny will join us next. It's the Mike Calta Show. This is 102.5 The Bone.
You're listening to the Mike Calta Show.
It's the Mike Calta Show. It's 102.5 The Bone. I am all over the place today. Sorry, I hit the wrong button. I stopped it and all this stuff.
That's my fault, Michael. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you should be. Should be sorry. We still got a lot of things to do. Martin Gramatica is going to be here at 9 o'clock. We got football picks. We'll get Ian Beckles on the phone because he's doing football picks with us this year. Carmen, is Vinny on the hotline?
I'm leaving a message right now because he's
leaving a message. I did tell him 8:30, Carmen.
He might be with Larry.
Oh, yeah. Now, what's going on, Larry? Larry, I can tell you now, Vinny has not had sex with Barack Obama, to my knowledge. To my knowledge. I could be wrong. I don't know.
Larry did hit me back last night via email and said that his phone, because he's in Mexico.
He's hiding out.
And I assume his phone works on Wi-Fi, and they cut the line in his neighborhood, which meant his Wi-Fi went out.
A lot of excuses.
Yeah.
And, so that was the last correspondence. That was about 11 o'clock last night.
Of all people, Joe said he had a lot of excuses.
Yeah. He is also under cyber attack, apparently. His Wi-Fi
Joe?
is.
Oh,
No, Larry.
Larry. Joe, that's a good excuse for you to use.
You're right. You're absolutely right.
I couldn't get the video up. Cyber attack. Well, there's a situation going on at the MGM in Las Vegas, and it should be the top news story, and I'm watching the news here on Fox News Local, Fox News National, CNN, and I see nothing about it anywhere. And I don't know what the reasoning would be for them to not report it, but it seems like it's something very interesting. Certainly the people who are headed to Vegas for a vacation. I even know people down there right now that are vacationing. There is a cyber attack on, first it was Caesars, and Caesars paid, and they're up and operational. And then the MGM properties where they say that it shut down the IT, but that means it shut down the billing, it shut down the keys that open the doors, all those things. And they said their casinos are fully operational, but then none of their slot machines are working. So I don't really know what the truth is. I follow this woman on Instagram called Vegas Fish, I believe is what it is. And she goes around and she does, like, if you like a good buffet, you need to go to this hotel. If you want a bad buffet, this hotel. And she does all those. She'll tell you what best plays to go to, shows to go to and see while you're there and things like that. And she always makes good videos. So I follow it. Well, now last night she was like, you got to follow because they keep taking my video down. And she's like, so follow it and spread around before they take this one down. And she goes inside the MGM casino, and you see all the seats pushed up on the slot machines, and it's dark in there. And she's explaining, so the rumor has it that Caesars paid, and Caesars is good, but the MGM said they were going to pay, they didn't pay, so they started shutting it down in waves, and all their IT stuff is on. So I don't really know what the full truth is, or as Joe likes to say, the fulls. I don't know the fulls.
You got to get the fulls.
But I'd like to find out because, I want to know. My dad was always the first one to tell me like my dad is the only one I know that checks out of a hotel. I don't ever check out; I just leave. And he goes, when you leave, you take those room keys because they got all of your credit card information on it. And I go, no, they don't. They're room key, but they do.
Mm-hmm.
That's why you could charge with them and all that stuff. And you don't realize how big of a deal that is until somebody gets yours and starts using your stuff. So all that stuff comes now. It's attached through your card, through your ID, through your payment schedule that you have there in the hotel, and they're able to tap into all of that. So watching Charlie Belcher, and again, I don't know where he is, but he's interviewing a woman who's holding a child who's trying to eat the microphone. The kid literally has a microphone in her mouth. Hilarious. Adorable and hilarious. All right.
Michael.
Yes.
Our guest is on line one.
This is Vinny. Vinny is the head of digital forensics and incident response for a company called Blue Voyant. You can find them online. If you simply just put Blue Voyant, it's the first thing that come up. Let's welcome our friend Vinny back to the show. Vinny, how you doing, buddy?
Hey, Mike, thanks for having me back.
Yeah. Now, Vinny, if you can just give these people a background what you did before you formed your own company.
Oh, sure. Yeah, I was over at the FBI in the New York office for about 11 glorious years, and finished my career in the cyber division. I did my first, I think, 7 years working in targeted organized crime, and then my last 3 or 4 in the cyber division. Prior to that, I was a practicing attorney here in New York as well.
When you were thinking about getting into the cyber division, is it because you saw the crime there going up so much? You're like, this is the crime wave of the future.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, when I first went into the FBI in 2004, post 9/11, of course, the focus was on counterterrorism investigations. I really didn't have a super strong interest in that. I was obsessed with technology and really organized crime. So I landed in the Italian organized crime division, working the Colombo family, which was an absolute dream. I always had an interest in the cyber side of things, but that violation, those investigations were really in their infancy, in the 2000s, as people were figuring out really creative ways to use computer technology to commit crimes. And then by 2000 and I guess it was probably 11-ish, 12, when I moved over to cyber, they had exploded in terms of the types of cases they were doing. I was just fascinated with the types of investigations that they were working on, and that was clearly to me the organized crime of the future. Was going to be over at cyber.
Was the mob moving on to this sort of crime as well? Maybe not like cyber ransom, but were they moving on to like saying, look, we could rob card games or we could rob crypto dealers? Like, do they move that far in advance, or are they still doing small time stuff?
No, the closest they came, at least at the time, to using computer technology is maybe to take a laptop and smash them over the head with it. That's probably as close as they can get. They were using online bookmaking services, overseas online bookmaking services. So rather than keep an old school book that the FBI could seize, they were using telephonic services, so they'd give customers IDs. They could call in. Those conversations were recorded. So if you were a bookmaker and you had customers that were making bets, if there was, when it came time to settle, if there was a claim about, I didn't make that bet, or I said, I didn't bet that amount, or I didn't bet on that team, there was an actual recording they could go back to. And those were usually hosted overseas, so that when we made arrests, it was a little bit more difficult for us to piece that together. As far as, and given, look, I left, like I said, organized crime in 2011-ish, I guess. And so that's not to say that there's a chance that they haven't, adopted and accepted it. Yeah, in advance. But the truth is that it's not something that lends itself to the type of people that end up in Italian organized crime for a lot of different reasons. But, the cyber side of things, these ransomware gangs are absolutely the organized crime of the 21st century.
So this has hit very hard for us. We've been victims of it before, and now the reason I reached out to you last night, which is good because I haven't talked to you in a while. At least there's a good cybercrime to bring us back together.
Sure.
I've been following this thing on Twitter of all places about the MGM casinos and the hotels being victimized by ransomware, and then I follow a couple of people who do daily blogs or vlogs of Las Vegas, but they're mostly telling you about what hotels to stay at, what shows to see, and now they've all become, hey, this is what's going on, and for some reason, they're trying to keep it as quiet as possible. Like, you don't see it on the local news. I haven't seen a whole bunch of it on the national news. It's mostly been on the internet that I'm getting any information.
Oh, yeah. There's an element of shame that goes along with being a victim of a ransomware attack. Not so. I mean, there shouldn't be. I'm not suggesting that a company should be shamed. We deal with organizations all the time that are in the midst of these types of attacks, and there's a psychological component to when your company or organization gets hit, because at the highest levels of most of the organizations we deal with, there is a sense of shock and disbelief in the first 72 hours following a breach event like this. That's sort of like, how could this happen? And you can imagine MGM probably has a substantial, considerable budget dedicated towards cybersecurity, and for something like this to happen, and what's going to be what I can only imagine an enormous 8-figure demand that's going to come in, from the Black Cat ransomware group. There's definitely an attempt to keep this from a PR perspective, as quiet as possible. But this information tends to come out one way or another, especially with as big of a breach as this is going to turn out to be.
Well, okay, so the if you can lend a little of your insight into this, because from what I'm hearing, they're saying that their casino floor is still operational, yet their slot machines seem to be what's shut down. And they're also saying that it's their IT as far as taking reservations, being able to hold guests accountable for things they charge to their room, their actual room key system itself. That seems to be what has been hit the most. And the other rumor that I heard was that Caesars was also hit, but Caesars paid up right away, so they're back and fully operational. So that do you suggest that? Do you suggest that companies? Because I mean, I remember last time I talked to you about this. They said you called it right away. You said, "Here's what happens." The company is under siege. Their engineers are trying to rebuild the network so that they think that they could switch everything over there. The minute they do, the cyber guys will be in that one as well, and then they got you. So you're eventually going to pay. And I remember asking you, who's to say if you pay that they're not just going to turn around and do this to you again a week later? And you were like, no, they're actually pretty reliable with that stuff.
Yeah, it's a sad truth, and I don't take a stance, and definitely as a company, that's a business decision. That my role in these types of engagements is really just to provide informed information and informed things to consider, factors to consider. But ultimately, it's up to our clients to decide whether or not they want to pay. And you look at MGM, who's probably losing somewhere in the area of $15 million a day, easily, I would say, just from being potentially down.
Yeah.
If a demand comes in for, let's say, you mentioned Caesars, the rumor on the Caesars payout was somewhere, I think the demand was maybe $30 million. I've heard anywhere between 15 and 30 million was paid, which is an insane amount. But the threat actors are exactly the threat actors are contemplating that. What does that amount to you, and what is your business interruption law? So, it's not. Everyone likes to say I wouldn't pay, and I certainly wish nobody would pay. My hope is that when I go into every engagement, that the client finds themselves in a situation where they don't have to pay. There's nothing more satisfying for me, because the idea of these people getting paid this type of money for committing criminal activity and committing these crimes against U.S. organizations is sickening to me. But I'm also realistic and understand that it's a business decision ultimately, and sometimes business decisions hurt in the end. But and the idea of being re-encrypted from the same threat actor, again, that's typically a low risk. Typically the same group doesn't typically come back and hit you again.
Yeah.
Not to mention, you're probably the most security conscious and the most secure in the 6 months after a large breach like this, because what do most organizations do post breach is they get everything in order, right? They're going to say, well, this is never going to happen again, so they're going to maybe dedicate some resources and services that they probably should have done beforehand. They'll do that after the fact.
So these, who are these people? First of all, they are Chinese, they are Russian, they are Eastern European, or are they a combination of all of that?
Yeah, attribution is really difficult. With that said, when you could pick up clues through these conversations, so that during the negotiation phase with these threat actors, you can usually pick up some clues. When they're online, when they're active, mention of holidays. Obviously the use of language as English as a second language, things like that. And so the vast majority of these attacks are coming from the Ukraine and Russia. And so you can imagine with the conflict over there, over the past 12 months or so, that has definitely impacted the flow and the frequency and severity of these attacks over the last really, year and a half. But as things have started to settle in 2023, we've seen a resurgence in these types of attacks, including demand, going up and a rise in, overall payments from victims. Whereas in last year, as compared to last year, we saw a nice trend developing. Really, last year and the year before, we saw a nice trend developing where clients were finding themselves in a position to not have to pay. And that was happening more and more frequently, and now we're seeing a little bit of a reversal of that. So as to who they are, the name of the group specifically is Black Cat.
Yeah.
They're one of the largest, if not probably the largest, ransomware organized crime group that's out there right now. And so they're incredibly sophisticated. Although this attack rumor was not necessarily a sophisticated one, it leaned more on socially based engineering attack on somebody looking up names on LinkedIn and contacting the help desk. Believe it or not, is the rumor from at least one very confident source with a high confidence, high credibility, that they essentially went on LinkedIn, found out the names of an IT person, contacted the help desk, and was able to convince the help desk to give credentials over to that person on the phone. Which
someone's getting fired. Yeah.
Well, this is the thing: is you try to you can rely on the technology a ton, which is a lot of the ways these breaches do happen. But it's not like this isn't Ocean's 14 here. In the end, this is this could be something as simple as a phone call.
Where does AI play a role in this? I mean, before you know it, you're going to have AI conversations instead of emails with these people. Tricking them into giving them information and leaking stuff.
Yeah. I mean, there's no indication that this has played a role. That we do get asked that a lot. Like in the future, is AI going to play a role in these types of attacks? And the answer is most certainly. Especially when you're dealing with these groups that are overseas. You're dealing with people that are typically non-native English speakers, and so for most people at a help desk. If they get a phone call from somebody with an accent they're not expecting, should be for most people red flag number one, and AI may be able to fix or compensate for that. But not only that, just from not from a social engineering perspective, but from a technology perspective, there's going to be a new arms race that's going to be threat actors using AI to defeat security, and companies and organizations embracing and adopting AI to defend against it. So it'll just be the dawn of a new era of an arms race between those two types of technologies, or using those types of technologies for two different purposes.
It's insane. This is Vinny. Vinny is former FBI. He now is the digital forensics and incident response head for a company called Blue Voyant.
I have a question for you, Vinny. Due to the size and the sophistication and the resources that a group like Black Cat has, would you think it's safe to assume, in your opinion, that maybe this group is funded by a foreign government?
Yeah, well, I guess the way I would answer that is there a difference? Is there a big difference between being funded by a government or a government deliberately looking the other way? And I would argue that the difference is probably more academic than real. And so do I think necessarily somebody's being paid? I don't think they have to be. I just think as long as you know you can operate within the boundaries of your country and know that there will be zero effort put in identifying who you are. And worst case scenario is if you are identified, the likely penalty for that would be just paying your way out of that. Then you don't really need to be sponsored necessarily. But some groups are. You see that a lot out of course, North Korea and China. But with these criminal organizations, if they're run anything like organized crime is run here in the United States, it would be more about a corruption on the side of just payouts and kickbacks to people to look the other way. And you have to remember, Russia's in the middle of a war, of course. Their economy is struggling, and you're looking at how many unemployed people with technical skills that have to put food on the table, who this suddenly becomes an alternative that, even from the government's perspective, they might not even care that these people are doing this. It's not impacting Russian citizens. It's not impacting Ukrainian citizens.
Well, can you imagine? We can't go to cave today. Let's rob casino.
Oh, God.
This is amazing. All right, so let me, if you can, if I'm because this doesn't just happen to MGM. This happens to small businesses everywhere. If I wake up tomorrow morning in my business and I get what is it, typically an email, or is it my, like you see in the movies where there's like a big thing on my front page? What is the first thing I see that's telling me you're under ransomware?
Depends who you are in the company. As a regular user, you probably won't be able to log in. Mm-hmm. But as someone who has administrator access into your network, you might be sitting in front of a server with a note, ransom note. It's just a text file sitting on your desktop. Some variants of ransomware will actually have it where your machine, has like a splash page on it.
Right.
But most variants are where it's just a note. It's just you're going to find you're going to be able to get into a server, but all of the operating system's working, meaning Windows is working. But once you go into where your data's stored, you're going to find all your files with an extension on them, that you don't recognize, that's indicating your files encrypted. And there's going to be these notes scattered about, and the note's going to say, hey, you've been hit with ransomware. This is the group we are. Don't try to decrypt your data. You're just going to corrupt it. And contact us in this method. Usually it's a link. It's a .onion link, which is the equivalent of a .com link for the dark web, however, so that you can go on using what's called a Tor browser, go on the dark web and make contact with the threat actor in a way that's secure, that they can't, that the government, I don't want to say can't because we have in the past, but it makes it very difficult to determine where they're actually connecting from using, the dark web. And then the negotiations would start from there. So, we don't recommend, I don't recommend that if you find yourself in that situation, that you start any sort of negotiations or communication, because even the initial contact is valuable to the threat actor, because especially if you're a smaller to medium-sized business, they might not be sure that you're aware that you've been encrypted, because it's not always clear to them exactly what they've impacted, especially for these smaller groups. So you even indicating that you've received a note and the timing at which you respond can send a signal that you're hurt bad, and you're desperate, which is going to make that demand go up. So we recommend that you play it cool, reach out, to a company like BlueVoyant or another company, and get experts involved right from the get-go, so that you can keep all your options on the table in terms of how you want to, put together a strategy.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing. So if this hit me, the first thing I would do is do some research and find out who to call. So I call BlueVoyant and I say, "Hey, Vinny, I got a message from these guys. They've hijacked my network." And then you take over from there. You guys talk to them, or you you tell us what to do.
Yeah.
Like, how does that usually work?
Yeah, there's going to be a couple streams of work that are going to be happening simultaneously. There's going to be the negotiation aspect, which, as you're kind of highlighting from your line of questioning, that is the number one most interesting thing to our clients, because they're focused on getting back up and running. Every minute that they're down, they're losing money.
Right.
But that's going to happen. So we're going to just discuss with you, what your status is as an organization, how much interruption this attack has caused. Are you 50% operational, 20%, 90%? That's all going to factor into how we make that initial contact and how quickly we make that initial contact. On top of that, while we're working on coming up with a strategy for reaching out to the threat actor and starting the negotiations, we have to figure out how deep in your network are they? What's the status of your backups? Because most of our clients initially will, believe that they have valid, viable backups. And, I would say good 65% of the time, 12 hours later, they find out that their backups have been encrypted or have been destroyed. Because the threat actors know that's the first thing you're going to do. They have the advantage of knowing, what they're in your network. They know that you don't know they're in their network. So for them, they're going to spend an extra day or two floating around looking for your backups, looking for your life raft, so that when you think, oh, I'm not going to pay these guys, you find out the bad news when you go to restore your backups, and your IT person will say, oh, our backups were encrypted, or our backups were offline for the last 2 months. because of some error on our side, and we don't have anything. So we're going to be working on containment. We're going to be working on collecting evidence, and then simultaneously we're going to pick up the negotiation side of things, if that's what the company wants to do, and start to work on getting an initial demand from the threat actor, which is essentially, what do you want?
Yeah.
And look, that number could be something. We've had instances where that number is wildly overinflated, and there's zero chance that there's ever going to be, you're ever going to be able to come to an agreement. And we've had cases where the threat actors just misgauged who they landed on, and our clients are like, we would pay, 10 times that.
Yeah.
So, not so much anymore that they do their research now, but in the early days especially, you had instances like that. So,
well, it's like you said, now there's going to be more
process.
There's going to be more people trying to do it. As the war goes on over there and more people need money, you're going to go back to getting novices doing it, so you never know. So it may hit your small business, and if it does, I asked Vinny to call today to talk about his expertise, not necessarily to plug his company, but there's going to be plenty of people out there who are going to want to know somebody to call as soon as this happens. The company is called Blue Voyant. You can find them online at bluevoyant.com, and this is a guy who's got years of working with the FBI, years of cybersecurity, years of crypto, years of organized crime, and clearly by hearing him talk today, you know he knows what he's talking about. Yeah, Spanish has more questions.
I have another question, Vinny. Are you aware of the cyber polygon conspiracy theory that the World Economic Forum did a cyber attack simulation, and that is a precursor to what is to come?
No, I didn't, but now I'm going to be all over X this afternoon looking it up.
Yeah, please do, and if you have any thoughts, let us know.
Half of the things Spanish says makes me roll my eyes, the other half makes me want to take all my money and put it in gold bars and keep it in my house.
Well, because they did a simulation of the pandemic, and then like 2 years later, the actual pandemic happened, and they just did a cyber attack simulation saying it's going to shut down, the whole world, and I just wanted to know. But yeah, if you look into it, good luck.
Yeah, well, I mean, look, what I'll say about that is, and I think, Mike, you kind of hit on this earlier in the conversation, which is, think of this. I mean, we're old enough to remember going to hotels where, they would give you a key, a physical key, and there was nothing that a bad guy can do, other than go through with a screwdriver and jam it into every door and break every lock to prevent you from getting in your room.
Right.
We're at a point now where, as we rely more and more on technology, our cars are computers on wheels, our hotel rooms are computerized doors, your check-in system. We are incredibly vulnerable to this type of disruption as compared to a mere 20 years ago, 30 years ago, where something like this would have had a minimal impact on a hotel or anything like that. So the idea that an attack or a war has to take place in sort of a traditional mechanical, bombs and missiles to cause disruption, that's out the window. As we can see, all anyone has to do is disrupt our technology, and that'll have the same impact, on the population. So we're incredibly vulnerable to that, which is honestly the whole reason why when people ask, why did you leave the FBI? I left with 3 other agents, and we were lucky enough to get involved with starting, Blue Voyant. And Blue Voyant's entire focus is, providing that security. I do investigations. I love that. I hope I can do that forever. But Blue Voyant's a much larger company. I think we're over 700 employees now worldwide that provides the cyber defense to prevent your organization from becoming victimized. And so that's really where I tell people, you don't want to ever meet me. You don't want to ever talk to me. You don't want to ever have to deal with me, because that means there's a failure somewhere that happened. And it was probably preventable. But yeah, as things go on, those types of conspiracies become less and less crazy sounding and more realistic as we march on with connecting literally everything. I mean, how many things, Mike, in your house are connected to the internet right now?
I don't even want to think about it. I mean, I would be. Yeah, I mean, but the most valuable thing in my house that's run by power and the internet is my air conditioning. So as long as that works, I don't care if anything else works in this house.
That's so true.
Are we to assume that every time there's a power grid accident somewhere where there's a state that goes, we don't know why, but our power grid went down for a half hour, or our entire lighting system went down for it, that it's somebody just testing the control they have over them?
Yeah, no. So fortunately, when it comes to like industrial controls and things like the grid, that was probably the first sector to really start focusing on protecting their infrastructure, because the grid going down, the power grid going down would be next level. And so, not to say that there's not concern there. There's definitely concern there, but that was an obvious source of concern from 15 years ago. People started thinking about, what can be online, what isn't. And a lot of these, power companies included, are smart enough. They're not going to have an Alexa running the grid. Hey, Alexa, turn off grid 7. It's not, that they know that those things have to be physically connected. There has to be a physical component. As I said that, my thing just went off in the background. But so fortunately, there's a stopgap there between getting those things online. But the rest of I love how Alexa feels the need to then just give you 52 suggestions when you say her name.
Yeah, it never actually works when you.
She's like,
when you ask it something, it never actually works for you.
No, but instead, if I accidentally say the name, she's like, by the way, and I'm like, oh, here we go. I'm in like a relationship now. By the way, did you know? I'm like, shut up.
Well, listen.
That's going to be a concern going forward for sure. I would say I'm not a conspiracy theory type of person, although I do go down rabbit holes on occasion. But I find myself, really telling people that a healthy level of skepticism, I think, is exactly that. And you should be always thinking about those types of things, because what's insanely crazy, a year ago becomes fact, a year later. So.
Well, look, it's like you said, I enjoy talking to you, but I hope I never need you. And if you do, the company is called Blue Voyant. You may want to write it down and store it somewhere, or remember to go to bluevoyant.com and bookmark it, because you may come across a time where you need it, or somebody. And it was the first thing I did when I knew some people that were in some trouble. I said, hey, I know a guy, and he may be able to help you out. And you want to start it early. Don't wait until don't think you can handle it on your own. Next thing you know, you're digging your own grave. So I love having you on. I love talking about this stuff. Anytime there's crypto problems, I love to call you. I appreciate you getting up early and coming on, my man.
No problem. Appreciate it. Good talking to you guys.
All right, pal. Talk to you later. There you go. The great Vinny D. See you, man. Vinny, thank you. He's now the head of that Blue Voyant, and can you imagine if you had to give him a call?
No.
Oh, the pain in the ass your life's going to be for the next 6 months.
I can't imagine all the countries and servers he's gained access to because of his job all around the world that has all kinds of information.
I don't want to ruin the truth of this story, but one day, maybe off the air, I'll have him tell you, but he told me this story about how he was chasing a guy who was a very famous crypto guy, and they seized his crypto in an airport. They got him, and they got his crypto password and everything in the airport. He said Vinny was like, we were 2 seconds away from him changing it and us never being able to figure out what the code was. He goes, but because we got him when we did, we got him right before he changed the information, and we were able to recover like $1 billion. I'm making it up, but he was like, we were so close to him changing it and never having access to it. So yeah, he tells some really interesting stories about you want to talk about a guy who should write a book and make a movie and all that stuff. I mean, he's got it, and he's not showy about it. He did it because I asked him. I called him last night. I said, when I saw that this MGM thing was still going on and nobody was talking about it, I go, why isn't this on the news everywhere? And I reached out to Vinny and I go, hey, and he goes, oh yeah, this will be fun to talk about. I said, all right, cool. So he's a good guy to know and a bad guy to have to call. How about that?
I hope that he does look into that conspiracy theory, because I think he's going to find it interesting. Yeah.
I'm sure he will. I'm sure he approaches it from a different aspect.
That's why
than
I want
do.
to talk. Yeah.
All right, we got to take a break, get some commercials in, and I got to pee like crazy. Martine will join us at the top of the hour. We got football picks. It's the Mike Calta Show. This is 102.5 The Bone. .12 on the Mike Calta Show. It's 102.5 The Bone. In the studio with us from your Tampa Bay Buccaneers, soon to be future Ring of Honor member, if we have anything to do about it. Martin Gramatica is here with us. Oh, I got to turn your mic on. Probably help. How you doing, buddy?
Hey, good morning. Thanks.
I mean, lower Spanish's mic so that I can. Sorry, Spanish. I'm just trying to even out this room because that microphone stinks. It is great to have you here because now we add Martin Gramatica, football player, broadcaster, author.
Yeah.
How do you like that?
Highfalutin.
There's a lot of people that are famous and then they write books and you're like, well, that life is boring as I thought. But you have a great immigrant story, a great family story. You've got a great success story. And still going, you know what I mean? You may have to write another chapter and put it at the end of this book. You don't know what you're going to do next.
Well, I'm hoping the other chapter are my kids kicking, so that would be the next chapter. Now,
you know what bothers me is that when my son was playing hockey and Pete's son Jake was playing, Jake's been playing since he literally could stand. He's been playing since he was a little fat baby, and he'll make it to college. He'll play in the minors and hopefully in the NHL. And Joey was not that good, and Joey's only been playing since he was in high school or before high school, and he was a big brute of a kid, and he used to fight all the time. So I said, okay, great. When Derek Jeter used to go and play for a team, he would take Gerald Williams with him. You got to hire Gerald Williams for a couple of years so they could hire Joey to protect Jake. I thought that would be great. And then I would lay in bed and I would dream about the documentary that they make about me and Pete. Because it's no longer about the kids anymore. Yeah,
of course.
It's about, but the story started back in the day when their dads became best friends first. And then we go into that, you know what I mean? But those dreams died. Now I'll be lucky if I get, and his uncle's on the radio. But you have now to live through your children and watch them. And I will tell you this, the genetics of being in your family is great, but nothing is going to get you there without hard work. And your kids are busting their ass, man. I see videos constantly.
Like that's what they do for fun.
Yeah, that's true. But they're out there, and it's great for you because they're with you. You get to spend time with them, and they're out there kicking, and they're learning from the best teacher that they could learn from. I think that's such a great story.
Did you see the video the other day of Martine throwing stuff at them while they're cooking?
Yeah.
Well, that's part of the book, actually. Joe Marciano, because when I came to the Bucks, and by the way, Santiago's their kicking coach. I know enough to mess them up, so I let Santiago fix all my mistakes.
Okay.
He loves the minor details of kicking, where I just kick it straight.
They also said when you were kicking that Santiago, and when Bill was kicking that Santiago had the strongest leg out of all of you.
He did. Unfortunately had an injury, his last year. But if not, I feel like he would have been the best of the three. But yeah, so and that's the thing. We're trying to teach the kids as well to be prevent injuries by stretching, warming up properly. It's things that we didn't do.
Yeah.
But where was I going with this?
I was talking about
throwing stuff
having
at
your
kids.
Oh,
thank you, guys.
Abusing your children.
Exactly. That was with a medicine ball, not a PVC pipe.
Yeah.
That's in the book as well. So he would. Because Royals was a veteran, and he didn't want to mess up his hair. I don't know if you guys know, Mark's hair hasn't moved in 50 years.
Mark looked just like Bucko Bruce. He did, right? Yeah, he had the mustache and everything.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So he just took it out on me. Every little trick and game he could play. But at the time, I wanted to fight Joe every practice. I can't stand this guy. I want to punch him in the face. He even tackled me in practice. We were talking with Ian on Saturday about, that Josh Lambo suing the Jaguars because Urban Meyer kicked him.
Yeah.
I go, I could have sued the NFL for what the
right.
But at the end of the day, it makes you a better player when you come Sunday. That's the key is for these.
There's a difference, too, between if you got a guy who loves you, who's kicking you, and if you got a guy who's just a power-hungry guy. Joe loved his players.
Exactly. Yeah. No, that's a big difference. Urban Meyer, I don't respect that guy at all.
Either is Gio.
No, I can't. He's my probably least favorite person on, and I don't know how he gets to be back on TV after he overlooked domestic violence from one of his coaches. I mean, that's ridiculous to me. But in this case, Joe would do that stuff. He would throw stuff at me. But it always to keep me focused on the football. Right, on the football, because that's the thing. If you see the rush and you look up and get your eyes up, then you miss a kick. Again, when you've kicked, so you know that you've got to focus on that spot. So he would throw medicine balls. He would throw the tackling dummies. Everything. So I was doing it to my kids, and then the holder G, which is the crazy one in the family, he wasn't paying attention, messing around. So I all of a sudden, instead of throwing it in front of the kicker, I smashed him in the head with it. And then he did the natural soccer flop. Looked like he got hit by a truck. So
I used to tease Galvin. Galvin's an accurate kicker, and he kicks pretty good. And I used to go, and Galvin goes, I can totally do that in the game. And I go, you don't have 300-pound black guys coming after you. That changes the dynamic of what you're doing.
You don't know what I do on the weekend.
My bad.
Well, the nice thing is you have those guys guys on your side as well. So it's not like there's just a line rushing and you're just by yourself. So I always had even to the point where like our Super Bowl year when we had some injuries, Warren Sapp was part of our offensive protection for field goals. There's a couple field goals where he's in the line protecting. So you always had, you know, the top guys protecting. So I never felt afraid of getting hit.
Were you there when they ran plays with him, offensive plays for him to grab the ball?
Oh, yeah, the Beyonce celebration.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And I think Atlanta was one of them. He scored 2 or 3 touchdowns.
He missed one. I remember he missed one. I was like, you know they're going to do it again. That one in Germany, they almost hit Brady. Brady went out. It was such a good play, man.
He slipped.
They said Simeon couldn't catch the ball. As athletic as Simeon is in his grade, they said he would have been perfect for it because he was so tall, but he just couldn't hold on to the ball. Well, I mean, when you train your whole life on the other end, you're not going to. It doesn't always come natural, but that's very interesting, man. I always want to be there and see all that inside stuff that never actually comes to fruition. So Martine's got a book out. The book is called Beyond. Oh, it's not out yet, right? The 25th.
No, it's out on Amazon now. But the 25th, we're doing a signing at the Bucs Stadium.
Gotcha. It's called Beyond the Uprights: The Intimate Memoir of Martine Gramatica, and it's got a handsome picture of Martine on the front with his kicking shoes on the desk there. And his Super Bowl trophy in the background, and I think that's great. And the forward by Tony Dungy.
That was amazing. You know, just to get because I always say Tony Dungy changed my life, not only by drafting me to the Bucs, and obviously the whole Buccaneer organization. The Glacier family was amazing. Mr. Glacier would come up to me when I was doing my worst, and I see him coming. I'm thinking this is the time where he puts his foot up my butt, and I'm out, right? You know, you would think like I'm getting cut. You know, if I keep kicking like this. And he would just be so, just coming in to motivate me. You know, you're the best kicker we ever had with it. And I'm thinking like he doesn't have to do this.
Malcolm or Brian?
No, this is Malcolm, the father.
The father
before passing away, because he was at every game.
I always felt like he didn't know anything about football, and I don't mean that in a negative way. I just felt like he was always so happy, and he's like, I just felt like he was the money guy. But he was involved, with you guys.
Well, you would think if he knew football, he would have cut me sooner. So I'm glad he didn't know football. No, he was just such a great person, you know. And I never forget that because that's a team owner when at my worst. Coming to motivate me. That was incredible. And his kids that are running the team now are the same way, you know, family first. And that's why every player that played for the Buccaneers, at least I do, I feel like I'm part of the team still. They they feel you know, you're welcome at the events, at the stadium. So, that was awesome to have that. But with Tony Dungy doing the forward, I couldn't have had a better coach. And I always told Coach Dungy every time I see him, I said, you ruined it for me. You know, that was he's my first coach in the NFL. And then I went to other coaches. You know, they were good coaches.
You had Parcells, didn't you?
I had Parcells.
In Dallas.
I was lucky, though, with Parcells.
You're like, I thought they were all supposed to be nice guys. I remember being mean
Parcells
to me now.
knew your name, or did he call you kicker?
No, he actually, he knew my name after the first game. Because they signed me, and I didn't even want to go to the workout because it was during my birthday, and I'm telling you, like, and they had Vanderjack.
Cake now. They had
Vanderjack, and he was the highest paid kicker in the league, but he was struggling. But I'm like, why am I going to waste my time? I want to spend my birthday with my son. That was my first birthday as a father.
Right.
So they convinced me to go, and I said, but my whole question to the girl that was setting up the trip is like, when am I coming back? And she's like, no, we have a one-way ticket. But I go, these workouts, you always have 2 tickets. You know, I want to know when I'm coming back. So she finally convinced me to go, and I did the workout. And it was just me and a arena league that Jerry Jones owned, that Texas team that he owns.
Yep.
So I'm thinking, okay, this is weird because usually there's 5 or 6 kickers that they're looking at.
Yeah.
I have a good warm-up, a good workout, and then Parcells comes over and says, we're going to sign you. And I looked at him, I said, you just a kickoff? Because in the past I had kicked off in Indy when Vanderjack was a kicker. He had a weak leg, but very accurate.
Right.
He said, no, you're going to be our guy. And that's when are you serious? Like, I couldn't believe it. You know, like,
what was the difference? What was wrong with Vanderjack? Was he hurt, or is he
just mental? I got mental with it because he was the most accurate kicker in NFL history at the time with the Colts, and then goes to Dallas and cannot make a kick.
Got the yips.
Yeah, and something happened where he just couldn't make a kick, and then it takes a coach like Parcells to cut the highest paid kicker within. This is like with 5 games left or 6 games left in the season, and we go to New York. Sunday Night Football. I hadn't played in a year and a half because I'd recovered from a adductor injury, and we ended up kicking a 47-yarder to win the game. So after the game, he comes up to me, hey, kid, you made me look good. So he didn't call me by my name. He called me kid.
Close enough.
But then he was nice to me the whole time I was there.
Yeah.
And I signed a 2-year contract, and unfortunately, that's when he retires. That's when Romo dropped the snap.
Yep.
And then they brought Wade Phillips, who I didn't have a country accent, so I don't think I could have been on his team.
you have a country accent, wrong country.
Right, exactly.
My brother was the trainer for the Storm for a while back when what was his name? The old coach, Tim Markham. and their kickers went down, and they had tried out everybody. They tried out Mike Pepper, that I used to work with, who played at USF, I guess. And my brother was like, we're in Iowa. And because my brother did commercials he worked for Health South, and he'd come and do radio shows. And he walked in the building one time, and Pepper walked by. He goes, "It's kicker." And I go, "What?" He goes, "It's kicker." And I go, "I don't know what that means." He goes, "We're in Iowa, and this kid's a temporary kicker for the Storm." And he missed like 3 field goals, and Markham yells out to him, "Hey, kicker, you missed another one. You're walking home." He goes, so the whole time we all just called him kicker.
Well, I heard he left the kicker. They wouldn't let him get on the bus. I can't remember who it was, but he left them. Like he wouldn't let him get on the bus.
Might have been Pepper.
To their defense, those uprights are tiny. Though.
They're tiny, right? But you're only having them hit them 20 yards, you know.
But still, they're tiny though.
It's so funny, man. Martine is here with us. Martine's book is out now. It's available on Amazon, and I heard them say they're going to be selling it at the Buck store on Monday Night Football night.
Yes, I'm going to be there from 5 to 6. We have it's going to be the hardcover in color.
Right.
Hopefully they come in.
Yeah.
And yes, so I'll be signing in there for
signing in the Buck store. Okay.
Yes.
We're doing our tailgate out there. I know you got to go do the broadcast, but feel free to swing over there if you'd like to do that. I would say I would say to get your book before then, because that's going to probably be insane that night. It's a Monday Night Football. You're going to be out there. I think it'll be pretty crazy.
And they're we're honoring as a Bucks Ronde as well. So that's Ring of Honor. So it's going to be madness. Yes.
Hey, by the way, Glaciers, remember when he was talking about how your dad was so nice before and all that? Maybe we get another little Ring of Honor action. Yeah. I'm just saying.
Family first, Ring of Honor last.
Yeah. All right, so we're going to do our football picks. I was last week. I took a couple of long shots, and it bit me in the ass. I also was in New York last weekend, so I was able to use the sports betting apps because it's legal up there. Ridiculous that you can't do it here. And I bet a bunch of parlays and everything that I was like, there's no way that Aaron Rodgers isn't going to have the biggest game of his career. That didn't work out. There's no way the Steelers are going to lose. That didn't work out. So I got my ass kicked betting-wise and fantasy football wise.
I was thinking about this, the way that we talked about it and stuff. So there was, Carmen, how many winners were there who tied for first place?
So there was 4 winners last week, and it was myself, Gio, Joe, and Ian. Galvin and Martine, you were off by 1.
Okay, but so now keeping score for this, so you guys were the winners, and then Mike is the loser, and then Martine and I just kind of nothing there, right?
Right.
So then we go by how many wins and losses you had.
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought it was just
the whole
wins.
season.
Well,
but it has to be losses because otherwise Martine and I didn't win, but we had a way better record than Mike did.
So it had to be the same if there was no losses.
Right. Yeah.
So then Mike gets like a negative. I'm just trying to see how
he gets 1 in the loss column.
Right.
So like the top 4 would be 1-0, and those guys would be 0-1, right?
But we're not the same though. That's that's my thing.
You have to have wins and losses, and whoever has the most wins and the least losses is going to be the winner.
So last place gets no point for that week. I don't know. I'm confused.
And if it's a tie,
Okay, so I'm
you
gonna
have
put-
the fist fight.
How about we get 2 points? It's like soccer, 2 points for a win. If you're in the middle, like Galvin and I, just get 1 point and 0 for losing.
Well,
I like that.
Yeah.
That's how soccer does it. They've been okay for a while.
Okay, Carmen, what do you got?
Well, and also, by the way, Spanish also had 5. So Spanish and Mike both have a loss. So I'm just going to keep W's and L's, and then that's how I'll do it because I do like little boxes, basically.
Yeah.
So Mike will get an L, Spanish will get an L, the rest of us will get a W.
Okay.
Instead of me, because normally I just count the wins, 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way up till the end.
If
so
we
I'll
ju-
just do this way.
We could just add up all the wins. That'd be the easiest way.
That's what I use. That's what we do every year.
No, but in this case,
Like the top 4 had what, 9 wins? Was it 9 wins?
So we always like last year the loser was Spanish because he had the least amount of wins.
Right. But
That's how we always do it.
right now, Martine and I are in the same category with Mike in Spanish. That's not fair though.
So like
because we had a better score.
You
Right,
guys
but
should
that's
be
how we count
tied.
it. You still didn't win.
Yeah, but Martine and Galvin should be tied for second
We didn't.
place.
Right, we didn't lose, though.
We didn't win, but we
Yeah.
didn't lose.
Right.
So you're going to have to go by most wins
Overall.
and least losses. You understand what I'm saying?
I get what you're
Like
saying,
the best
but
winner.
I would just go with whoever gets the most wins, they win. Whoever gets the least amount of wins, they lose. That's how we always do it every year.
But we have to signify a last place, though.
Yeah,
That's the
what I'm
person who
saying.
gets the least amount of wins.
we can figure this out off the air.
But there's
gonna
there's gonna be like 4 winners and 5 losers.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not going to work out.
It'll work out when we go out to dinner, but other than that. Martine's book, again, Beyond the Uprights, the intimate memoir of Martine Gramatica. Martine, I'm going to give you that real quick. That is, it's open to page 194. If you can, Martine, hold on. Let's do a...
I don't read English.
This is a reading with the author.
I don't read English.
Read it in Spanish. Yeah. No,
I'd rather you read it. I'd rather you read it.
I'll read it.
No, I didn't bring my glasses, Mike.
I'll read it. Hold on. I did bring my glasses. Let me put it on. Stand by.
You want to kick something? I'll throw it at you. See if you can read it.
There we go.
That I can't.
After retiring from professional athletics, numerous opportunities presented themselves. I accepted some, declined others, but each taught me a valuable lesson and opened doors I never imagined walking through. In 2017, I found myself caught up in a media frenzy when I accepted a challenge on the Mike Calta radio show. The show's associate producer, Spanish, who had boxing experience, challenged me. Naturally, I got excited and accepted without a second thought. As Argentine soccer player Oscar Ruggieri once said, once you're in the mud, you have no choice but to find a way out. And indeed, I was knee-deep in it. It was ignorant of me to step into a boxing ring merely for the sake of entertainment. However, two positive outcomes emerged from that experience. Firstly, I met a fellow Argentine professional boxer named Mauro Santos, who trained me for the fight and became a great friend. Thank you, Mauro, for sparing me for making a fool of myself and teaching me the art of punching. During our training, we practiced against another boxer, and when it was my turn to spar with Mauro, I hesitated to throw a punch, fearing his wrath if I did. I thought to myself, if I hit this guy, he'll get mad and knock me out. Of course, that never happened. I suspect he went easy on the rookie. The second positive outcome was that I held my own in the fight, and I ultimately won by decision. You're a loser.
Oh, shut up.
Suck Spanish.
You shut up, Gio.
I was sore the next day, but relived it over and over.
Yeah.
Relieved it was over.
Sorry, I was hyping it up a little bit. So anyway, that's basically all that's there about us. That's all I care about.
But, see, Mike, I do listen to the show.
Yes.
Was it Robert Kelly that didn't put you in his book, right? That you were upset about?
No, it was Bert.
Bert,
okay.
yeah.
Robert,
Bert, you've known him even longer, right?
Right. Robert Kelly's my number one best friend. He would never leave me out of a book.
Okay, that's
Bert's fair weather famous friend.
So do I bump up over Bert right now, you think? Or?
Oh, yeah. Like if there was a fire, I would save you before Bert.
Thank you.
Bert will
Easier to carry.
Bert's so fat, it'll take 3 days to burn. Yeah, no, you're safe. I'm just kidding. I love Bert. No, I love that. I'm very proud of that. Are you kidding me? There have been a lot of books that mention us over the years, not many favorable. Like, I'll never forget we had Owen Lefebvre, who was the husband of Deborah Lefebvre. Remember, she was the first real hot teacher to have and it was a shame because Owen was such a nice guy. He really wasn't like the guy that didn't deserve to be in that situation. Wasn't a bad husband, wasn't anything. And I remember everybody was trying to get her on the show, and I sat back and said, what about him? Why isn't anybody talking to this guy? He didn't do anything. And so I got on the air, and I'm like, I want to get that guy. So he called in, or we somehow got him on the show, and he said the worst part for me is she left and took everything. He's like, I'm stuck here with no furniture in this house. Well, my dad had moved and given me a couch and furniture. I go, we're going to give you some furniture. So we brought some furniture over there, and we developed a relationship with him. And I genuinely, I'm still friends with him on Facebook today. He is a nice guy who's had a new family and is doing great in life. And he's the kind of guy where you go, what did that guy do to deserve this? And then he wrote his book, and he came in the studio and to promote the book, because it's the least we could do. He came on the air with us in the thick of things. When it's time to promote him, we were going to do that. And I'm opening the book, and I'm reading it, and it says, and here I am, my world falling apart and everything going on. And here's these guys on the radio, Cowhead in his show, talking about me, and I couldn't get it up. Is that why she was cheating on me? I was like, oh, sorry. I don't even think he remembered until I started reading it.
I got you the sofa.
Yeah, I was the couch guy. It was so funny because that made me, that was the day that I first started getting mad at that Serena Fazan, who looks like the fly from Jeff Goldblum when she's like got the fly head and the normal body. She shows up. This is the first of many times she's done this to us. She shows up at Owen's house during the furniture thing, does a big story on it, and never mentions us one time. Yeah. And then she did that to us years later. And that weirdo, my wife came home one day and she's like, Serena Fazan called me from the news. I go, for what? And she goes, I don't know. She's trying to get a hold of you because you said something on the radio. I was like, all right, creep, stop calling my wife. Then she finally got that thing removed from her face. All right. Anyway, we got to take a break. When we come back, Ian Beckles is going to join us on the phone. Martina's here, and we're going to go into week 2 of our football picks. And I feel like my week one was very embarrassing. I hope to climb out of this hole. Ian pulls no punches, man. If he thinks the Buck, he's been talking about the Bucks stinking, and they're going to stink in every bed. And I'm just telling you right now, they won, and I'm feeling the bake. So we'll see what happens. We'll do our football picks when we come back. It's the Mike Calta Show. This is 102.5 The Bone.
You're listening.
It is 9:44 on the Mike Calta Show. It is 102.5 The Bone. Martin Gramatica is here. Martin's new book, Beyond the Uprights, an intimate memoir of Martin Gramatica, is available now with the foreword by Tony Dungy. Who is Alfonso Corlameno and Carlos Bojejas?
So Alfonso is the biggest Buccaneer fan from lives in Spain,
right?
And then Carlos does the play-by-play for the Bucks.
Yeah. Carlos is your guy,
yeah,
right?
So Carlos. So the thing is, we wrote it in Spanish first, and then had it translated, but the translation was awful. So then we fixed it in English. Now we got to go back and translate the Spanish side. So that's why English came out first. We were trying to get both of them at the same time.
Yeah. You'd have been so proud of me the other day. I ordered Uber Eats, and they a $200 Uber Eats order, and they brought it to the wrong house. And I called my guy Hermes. And he was he. I'm telling you, my accents are bad, but he sounded Asian, but he was Hispanic. He's like, "Oh," and I'm like, "Hey, my food is not here." He's like, "What?" I'm like, he's like, "Como?" And I'm like, "Okay, mi comida." He's like, "Sí." I go, "No aquí." He goes, "No aquí." I go, "No aquí." And he's like, "Oh no," and I go, "Yeah, sí, oh no, I want my food. I'm hungry." And he's like, "I come back." I said, "Okay." Certain words he knew in English, certain ones he didn't, but. My son was like, very good Spanish. I said, thank you. It's high school, 3 years. Thank you.
At the end of the day, did you get your food?
I got we figured it out that he took a picture of it. So I know he delivered it somewhere. And we figured out he brought it to my neighbor's house.
Oh, okay.
So Joey went over there and got it. And right about the time he came back, Joey was like, I got it. So anyway.
By the time did you get it? Was it caliente?
Muy caliente.
Thank you.
I had, I don't know, pesca?
Pesca, fishing?
Fish? No,
pescado.
I feel like I can understand Spanish way more than I can speak it because I don't remember how to conjugate verbs and all that stuff. But sometimes if you start doing it, it just comes out, and all of a sudden I'm like, do I speak Spanish? Do I actually know what I'm saying?
Last time I spoke Spanish was at Hush, actually, with Joe. They were all the strippers were Spanish.
Oh, yeah. I am a big star. El Radio.
No, you were a great interpreter.
Yeah. He took out his gum. Rich American.
El pantalones es no importante.
I pointed to my gold chain and said,
Green card.
El Pipi. Yeah, you know. All right, Carmen.
Yes.
Let's do some football picks for the week. Here we go. We'll start with tonight's game. You have the Minnesota Vikings at the Eagles, and we'll start with you, Martin Gramatica.
I will go with the Eagles.
Carmen.
Eagles.
Gio.
Eagles.
Spanish.
Eagles.
I say Eagles. Galvin.
Eagles.
Pap.
Eagles.
All right.
Joe's copying everybody.
No, I'm not.
Well, don't worry. Don't worry. It's going to go backwards. Joe.
Yes.
Ravens. Wow, I'm sorry. I missed you.
Do you want Ian?
Oh, yeah. What is Ian?
Ian also chose the Eagles.
Of course. Joe. Yes. The Ravens of what city?
Baltimore.
That is correct. At the Bengals of what city?
Bengals. No, I don't know.
Well, which one do you think is going to win?
Bengals.
Oh,
From
no.
I don't know.
Martine?
Ravens.
Yeah, Ravens. Carmen?
Bengals.
Ooh. Galvin?
I'm going Bengals.
Spanish?
Bengals.
And Gio?
Bengals.
Oh, my God.
They can't stick it up too.
Mike, you picked Ravens?
I picked the Ravens, yeah.
Okay.
I got the sweatshirt to prove it.
And Ian?
Ian is Ravens.
Carmen, Seahawks at your Lions.
Lions.
Seahawks. Martine.
Lions.
Gio.
Seahawks.
Spanish.
Lions.
Galvin.
Lions.
And Pep.
Lions.
Okay.
Why don't you just say I'm taking this and Ian's taking this?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because otherwise,
Sure.
Ian.
Yeah.
Took
Ian
what?
is also taking the Lions.
Okay. The Colts at the Texans. Galvin.
I'm going Colts.
Martine.
Texans.
Gio.
Colts.
Carmen.
Texans.
The Spanish Ian combination.
We are taking the Texans.
I will take the Texans, Joe.
Texans?
There you go.
Question?
Joe, the Texans are from where?
Texas.
Yay! The Chiefs at the Jaguars, Gio.
Chiefs.
Carmen.
Chiefs.
Martine.
Chiefs.
Ian, Spanish.
I am taking the Chiefs, and Ian is taking the Chiefs.
Joe.
Chieftains.
Galvin.
Your upset of the week, I am taking the Jaguars.
Wow. I will take the Chiefs. The Packers at the Falcons. I will take the Packers. Joe?
Come on, man.
Into
I will
the
take the
mic.
Packers.
Carmen?
Falcons.
Spanish and Ian?
We are taking the Packers.
Martine?
Packers.
Gio?
Packers.
Galvin?
Packers.
The Raiders at the Bills, Martine Gramatica.
I will go with the Bills.
Ian Beckles.
We are going with the Bills.
Joe?
Buffalo Bills.
I will take the Bills. Carmen?
Bills.
Galvin?
Bills.
All right, that's everybody, right?
Bills.
Gio.
Yeah, Gio, sorry. The Chargers at the Titans, Carmen.
Titans.
Martine.
Titans.
Spanish.
I am taking the Chargers, and Ian is taking the Titans.
I will take the Chargers as well, Gio.
Chargers.
Galvin. Is
Chargers.
that everybody?
No.
Joe?
Chargers.
All right, just checking. Want to make sure you're listening. Yep. Joe, we'll start with you. The 49ers of San Francisco at the Rams.
49ers.
Galvin.
Niners.
Spanish.
We are taking the 49ers.
Carmen.
Niners.
Martine.
49ers.
Gio.
49ers.
I will take the Niners as well. The New York Football Giants at the Cardinals. I take the Giants. Carmen.
Giants.
Martine.
Giants.
Spanish.
We are taking the Giants.
Gio.
Giants.
Galvin.
Giants.
Pappy.
Giants.
Zach Wilson and the Jets taking on the Cowboys. Anybody not taking the Cowboys?
Yeehaw.
All right, good. Cowboys for everybody. The Washington Commanders at the Broncos. Martine.
Broncos.
Gio.
Broncos.
Spanish.
We are going to take the Broncos.
Carmen.
Broncos.
Galvin.
Broncos.
Joe.
Broncos.
I think this will be your upset of the week. I take the Commanders.
Ooh,
I like
could
that.
be. Could be.
Mhm. The rivalry of the Dolphins at the Patriots. Spanish. Your Dolphins.
We are going to go with Marino and the Dolphins.
Both of you.
Yes.
Okay. Martine.
Patriots.
Gio.
Dolphins.
Galvin.
Dolphins.
Carmen.
Dolphins.
Patriots. Joe.
Fins.
Fins. Okay. Two more, and then the Bucks game. We got the Saints at the Panthers. Gio.
Saints.
Galvin.
Saints.
Spanish and Ian.
We're taking the Saints.
Martine.
Saints.
Joe.
Saints.
Carmen.
Saints.
Yeah, Saints. Browns at the Steelers. Galvin, your Steelers.
Steelers.
Steelers. Spanish.
We are going to take the Steelers.
Martine.
Browns.
Carmen.
Steelers.
Gio.
Browns.
I will take the Steelers. And Joe.
Steelers.
Okay.
Oh,
Now,
wait, I'm sorry, Gio. Who'd you just take?
Browns.
Okay.
now the final game of the week, which is going to be airing on Sunday. Bears Bucks. Anybody say the Bears?
No.
Then there you have it. We're all Buccaneers fans.
Let's bake.
All right, we're baking. 2 weeks in a row, we got bacon.
Mike, don't forget to come see me at Lifeguard.
Lifeguard Imaging, where my parents went to go see Martine and had good scores. They came back and they had good scores. Excellent. It's always good for peace of mind, whether it's for your heart or whether you're scanning for cancer or anything else that might be in your body that you don't know about. Lifeguardimaging.com to go see Martine. Everybody's very surprised when they're like, I went there and Martine was there. Yeah, that's what he does. He's there.
I work.
Yeah.
My wife throws me out of the house.
Go see Martine at lifeguardimaging.com, get scanned, and get peace of mind that you deserve. Martine's book, Beyond the Uprights, is available now on Amazon, and he will be signing them on Monday night at the Buck Store before Monday Night Football. Martine, thank you. Always great to see you.
Thank you, guys.
We will take a break. We'll take a break for 24 hours, and then we'll be back tomorrow. Check us out on Instagram at The Mike Calta Show, on Facebook, on X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it. We're everywhere. And, of course, on YouTube at calta.tv. Thank you to Vinny D for coming on, for talking about Vegas and cyber ransom. You can find his company, Blue Voyant, at bluevoyant.com. Anything else, Carmen? Spanish?
That's
No, we gotta go.
All right, tomorrow in the studio with us, a comic and an actor named Nick Bakay. You may know him, you may not know him, but he is great, and he was the co-host of the Dennis Miller Show, and I love the guy, and I'm so happy that he's coming in the studio. Nick Bakay is here tomorrow. Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow. After the show is up next. Goodbye.